Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning. Good.
Ooh, hi, Jenny.
Good morning.
Man, what a day it was in the NFL yesterday. Antonio Brown and Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers and Kyler versus Lamar and Patrick Mahomes and Eagles lose. And how about them Cowboys? How about that Dak Prescott? I don't know.
There it is.
They ain't play nobody. They ain't play anyone. They did not play anyone. They did not play anyone.
We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes.
All them in the same boat. Dolphins, Giants,
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah. And I want to wish you good luck today because you're going to need it.
For
what?
Around for this thing.
My team won.
We have a lot to get to. I love Monday shows. What has Dak proven to Skip and this guy, Shannon, and who is to blame for the Eagles' loss last night? Yep, Shannon, we'll go there. We're going to start, though, with the Patriots. Antonio Brown looked impressive on the field in his Patriots debut after only practicing a few days with his new team. Tom Brady didn't waste any time getting his new target involved, hitting the receiver 4 times in the first half. AB ended up with 56 yards and a touchdown. And after the game, Belichick and Brady said it was a good start with Brown. Take a listen.
We'll take a look at it on film. I mean, it's 1 week. There's a lot of things we can work on. But it's good to have him out there. We run the offense, try to throw the ball to guys open, Ben. Haven't changed that in 20 years.
It was a good start. I just was trying to find an open guy, and he, was snapping off some routes and did a great job. So it was good to find him. Everyone contributed.
Shannon, are you surprised AB played that quickly and that much?
No, Skip, once the NFL didn't stand up, we knew the Pats wouldn't stand down. AB went through. Look, they signed the guy an hour after he got released. So that told you what they thought of his talent. And we all know the reason why AB is on this roster is because he's extremely talented, Skip. Yeah, he had some issues about blending in the team concept and making it all about himself. But that doesn't take away his ability to play. He's still an electric, bona fide, top threat receiver. And the guy practiced all week. And the one thing that we know about the Patriots, Skip, if you practice, they expect you to play. And not only play, they expect you to play well. Now, I am not buying Coach Belichick and Tom Brady. Antonio Brown played 24 snaps. They only had 72 total snaps. So he played about a third. On a third of those plays that he played, they threw him the ball. Or they threw the ball in his direction. So they made a conscious and a concerted effort to try to get him involved. Now, they're not where they need to be just yet because they missed some throws, but I believe in time this is going to be a top-notch connection. Skip, Tom has never had a receiver with this kind of quickness that plays a lot outside the numbers. Now, Randy Moss had more deep speed, but Randy couldn't get in and out of breaks like this guy can.
Nope.
This guy has slot receiver ability, but he plays outside the numbers. And Tom hasn't played with anyone like that. He gets on guys so quick, Tom is like, okay, he's going to be even with him. I'll back shoulder him, he's going to be right there. So it's kind of hard to back shoulder somebody when you're on top of them. If you notice, Aaron, a lot of these guys, when they throw the back shoulder skip, the DB is even with the receiver. He just opens up. It's kind of hard to open up when the DB is behind you. That's something they're going to
Like
work.
when Dak throws his deep balls, you can see that a lot.
This is not a Dak conversation. We'll talk about him
Not
later.
yet.
Well, we're talking about great deep ball throwers.
He'll come in later. I'm not worried.
But eventually, through practice and in games, AB and Tom Brady will get on the same page unless something the NFL steps in and intervene that could possibly derail this. But I believe they'll be working extra, Skip. They'll spend a little extra time after practice. They'll spend time in meetings. They'll talk to this like, well, I want you to run it like this. Because like I said, Skip, he's never had anyone like this. This guy is electric. This guy has dynamic. He's a returner. So Edelman's a returner, but Edelman exclusively played in between the hashes. In between the numbers. AB plays outside the numbers, but he has Edelman-type quickness, so he's in and out of those breaks a lot quicker than Tom Brady is used to. But I thought they made an effort to get him the ball yesterday. He didn't disappoint. He let people know that, hey, I'm still AB, and I got a quarterback now that's going to give me the ball, and I can do dynamic things with the ball. So I'm not surprised that he played. I'm not surprised that he played well because we knew, Skip, once the NFL didn't intervene, the Patriots were not going to intervene. And so he played and he did a great job.
Yet I thought Friday you told me you thought they would ease him in.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a whole lot of impact, right?
I thought he'd have 3 or 4 catches. He had 4 catches. You did say you think he'd have a touchdown. I didn't think he'd have a touchdown. I didn't think they were going to throw him the ball, like that in the red zone. But I'm not surprised, Skip. You don't put a guy out there. Coach Belichick, you know this about the Patriots, Skip. If you play, they expect. If you practice during the course of the week, they expect you to play, and they expect you to play well, and he did.
Okay. I saw it completely differently than you did. Obviously, I was having to watch 2 games at once, and when one of those games involves the Cowboys and the Redskins, it's hard for me to focus
that
on
has
the
all
other
your
game.
attention.
Yes, it does. But I had half an eye on the top TV, and I got to tell you, I was stunned and I was amazed at just how brazen Bill Belichick was yesterday. To me, when I glanced up on the second play of the game and saw AB running in, it looked like he had a smile on his face. I couldn't see under his helmet exactly, but I'm sure he was smiling inside.
Sure.
To me, that was Bill Belichick waving his middle finger at the National Football League.
Everybody.
Everybody. That was Bill Belichick saying, oh, so you think because of this lawsuit I'm not going to play him? Or you think I'm just going to ease him into what should be a blowout for us, maybe give him a couple snaps in the third quarter and 3 or 4 in the fourth? Nope. Watch this, said Bill Belichick to the National Football League. He always has to be the smartest man in the room. He always has to show you, if you don't think he can do it, watch how he does it. And now technically, he can say, well, I didn't start him because he didn't play in the first snap. And they handed the ball to Sony Michel for 3 big yards. And here he came, trotting on the field. And now it's 2nd and 7 at the 43. He was punished for 1 play. And 2nd and 7 at the 43. And Tom Brady rises up and throws it to Antonio Brown for 18 yards. And I'm falling off my chair. And now I'm completely distracted from what's going on the bottom TV, which is the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. Then 2 plays later, Tom Brady looks to throw again for a second time in the game, and he hits Antonio Brown. Or should I call him Antonio Moss? Because I think he's turning into Antonio Moss. That was for 8 yards. Then 2 more plays pass, and he looks again to throw to Antonio Brown. He hits him 3 times in the first drive, and actually he threw a 4th pass in his direction, and Minkah Fitzpatrick was called for holding Antonio Brown. So there are actually technically 4 targets in the opening drive, which ended in a short Sony Michel touchdown from a yard away. So silly me, on Friday, I predicted he would catch 3 balls for 30 yards. And in the opening drive, he had 3 for 36.
Yeah.
And then a little later in the game, Tom made sure that he got AB a touchdown. And obviously, it was a homecoming for AB because he grew up in Miami. They were back in Miami. And even though this was just the equivalent of a scrimmage, like a practice game, right?
Skip, it's a shame.
It's just a shame. In your life, in your career, in all your time around the NFL, have you ever seen a team that looks this woeful this quickly?
No.
Because sometimes at the end of the year, you see teams just fall completely apart, but this is a disaster.
You Skip, sometimes you like, after you lose a couple of heartbreaking games late in the year, you're like, I'm ready to just go home.
Sure.
But to start the season, like, guys I don't want to be here. I hate it here.
Ugh, it's not good.
Wow.
I want to get out of here. Trade me.
It's a long
The
season.
season just started.
It's a long one.
So given all that, you would think, look, think about this. Step back from it. This is a New England team that completely dismantled the Pittsburgh Steelers in their opener on last Sunday night.
Correct.
It was 30-3. So did this team look like it needed Antonio Brown?
No.
Obviously, it did not. Did this team at all need Antonio Brown to beat that team yesterday?
No.
No, it didn't need him at all. So I stand by what I said last week. I thought it was incumbent upon the Patriots to at least say, we're going to keep him on ice for 1 week. Because you could do that easily. You could justify it, say we need another week of
100%.
practice.
Yeah.
Let's just wait and see, because obviously Robert Kraft knew by Friday or so that they were going to interview the accuser today, the NFL is, and the process would start now.
Correct.
Okay? So you could at least say, let's kind of wait and see what feedback we get from the home office, from Commissioner Goodell to Robert Kraft. Obviously, they're very close.
Right.
And he could say, well, we think this or we think that.
Right.
and you would have a little better read on the situation instead of flying blind on it right now going into your second game of the year, a game that you were favored to win by 18.5 points. Now, to me, I stand by what I also said last week. If I had been Robert Kraft, and it was reported over the weekend, if Robert Kraft had known about the civil case filed against Antonio, he would not have signed him. Well, if that's the case,
I don't believe that.
Okay,
because
well,
once you find out, you can still.
It's easy to say now. I agree.
You still can release him.
Okay, you could, and I stand by what I said last week. I would have released him as soon as it got filed. And again, that doesn't mean that Antonio's guilty as accused.
Right.
I'm just saying it's one thing on top of a whole year's worth of incidents in which Robert Kraft could say, you know what? This is just too much of a distraction for my football team. We're going to go in a separate way. And several reports said he could have gotten out from under it's about $10 million that they would have owed him in guaranteed money, as Oakland got out of the guarantee that they owed him, right? So I stand by, I wish they had gone in that direction. I also stand by this. I picked the Patriots before the season started, without Antonio Brown, obviously. I don't have nearly as much confidence in my pick with Antonio. And I agree with you. He is an electric player. And furthermore, and further complicating the decision-making here, he is a legendary, great practice player. High energy, highly motivated to practice. Well, obviously, Bill Belichick loves that. That's what he loved about Chad Johnson Ochocinco, right? That he practiced so hard. Well, all that adds up to Randy Moss. What happened with Randy Moss? You had him for 3 years and 4 games, and you have nothing to show for it in the way of a Lombardi trophy, right?
Right.
And I fear that yesterday I saw them already falling into the Randy Moss trap. The 2000 Patriots got mossed. They got to the Super Bowl and they threw it 48 times to running it only 16 times, and they ended up losing 17-14. In this case, yesterday, Antonio Brown, in his first action with the New England Patriots, got 8 targets. Help me out. You got the play-by-play there and all the stats, right?
8.
Was that team leading 8 targets? Yes.
Doubled everybody else.
Doubled. Well, I think, didn't Josh have 5 at the bottom? He got 5 targets?
No, 5 targets. Yeah, 5 targets.
Okay, so it almost doubled. But the Super Bowl MVP was Julian Edelman.
4 for 4.
So how would you feel in your heart of hearts? You would never say this publicly, but how would you feel after that game if you're in Julian's shoes and you were the Super Bowl MVP and you got 4 targets in that game and Antonio got 8? How would you feel?
Right. Well,
Would you feel a little queasy here? Like, is this where we're going with this? Is this?
I've been here for the longest. I asked the girl to dance first, and here's the guy that just comes to the party, and she dances with him.
Okay.
Tommy, it's me, it's Jules.
It's Jules.
You know little Jules. You know Jules,
Jules.
We went to Jackson's Hole, Wyoming, and throw passes, and we all go vacation together.
It's
boy.
Jules is the second leading receiver in all-time history postseason games.
Right.
Again, that's because he's played so many games with that quarterback.
Yep.
But the point is, he's done a whole lot. How would you feel if you're Josh Gordon and you have worked so hard to defeat your demons and get back into the good graces of the New England Patriots, and you are a starting receiver, and even though you got 5 targets, they didn't add up to a whole lot of yards, and help me out. He is about to be relegated to second string.
Well, Skip, we talked about this. That's like now, you look at what transpired the first week. We saw Dorsett play a big role. We also saw Josh Gordon. I said, now somebody's about to lose some catches.
Yeah, you did mention
That's just the way it's going to shape out.
Okay.
He's too talented not to get him the ball, and he's going to win. He's going to win, other than Edelman, who plays closer to the quarterback and his route tree is shorter than an outside receiver. Antonio Brown is going to beat everybody else getting open.
He will. And don't give me after the game, and I love Tom Brady, obviously, but don't give me, I'm just looking for the open, I'm hitting the open receiver. Against that team and that defense, everybody's open. You can just say you.
Who do you want?
Right.
I'll do you.
Right.
Shannon Sharpe, today I'm going to get you 10 catches
Exactly right.
for $2, for 200, right?
Yeah.
If you want that, you can get it. So Tom's also making a statement, and as is Josh McDaniels with the play calls, we're going to show you we can integrate him like that.
Right.
And we'll show you he is maybe the best receiver in football right now, and we are going A-B heavy. Antonio Moss. That's what happened yesterday.
Right.
So that's where we are headed. And yet, Do I think this will work long term? I do not. And I'm going to hark back to what the Hall of Famer across from me told me early on. I'm going to go back to 2016. You said the Pittsburgh Steelers should cut bait, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been out on him from the start. Well, you shouldn't be in on him now unless you're trying to sabotage my Super Bowl
No.
pick.
But the thing is, Skip, is he going to change? See, the thing is, my only concern with the Raiders, I'm like, nobody in the Raiders organization is going to be able to hold this dude accountable. But he goes to he goes to a situation where not only will the head coach hold you accountable, but there are guys in that locker room that's been there for an extended period of time. You have Tom Brady, you have a Devin McCourty, you have a Julian Edelman, you have guys that have been there, that have won there, and says your behavior is unacceptable and is not conducive for winning. And I believe if he were to act up, Coach Belichick would get him out.
Okay, so I'm going to hark back, if we could see it one more time, to the initial Instagram post from AB after he had signed with the Patriots. And I'm going to remind you, when you see this is AB, a little caricature, sitting on a pile of cash with the caption of "The Patriot Way." The Patriot Way? I'm going to remind you, he knew full well what was coming down the pike.
Right.
A lawsuit was coming because, according to all the reports,
You're right.
he had been negotiating with her side for several months over a settlement.
And the deadline was Sunday. Well,
Okay.
so yesterday was a week ago.
A week ago,
Yes.
okay? So he knows this is coming, and he knows he's saying no to her demands of whatever it was. There was a report of
Excess of $2 million.
$2+ million, they
Right.
said, okay? So he knows this is coming, and yet he posts that. That's the first really bad sign, because now it looks like this is going to empower him. This is going to further entitle him, further embolden him. He's feeling invincible. Belichick took me, right?
Right.
And I'm above this. And again, I'm not picking side. I don't say he's guilty or not. I have no idea.
Right.
I'm just telling you that right now he must feel on top of the world because he's a New England Patriot with a team-high 8 targets.
Well, Skip, change normally comes about once a person hit rock's bottom. He get traded from the Steelers for a 3rd and a 5th and goes to the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders cuts him so they don't have to pay the guaranteed money. And within hours, he's picked up by the defending Super Bowl champ. So he's like, what have I lost? You mentioned like, okay, so what? I'm not guaranteed the $15 million next year in 2020, but I got it guaranteed for this year. I got 14, 15 guaranteed this year. So he really hasn't lost anything. He's looking at like my behavior. I've gotten rewarded. I go from a team that probably wasn't going to make the playoffs, wasn't going to win maybe 5, 6 ball games, to a team that could possibly go 14-2, 15-1, who knows, 16-0 and win the Super Bowl. So I won. I win.
Yeah, yesterday he could have been a victim of Patrick Mahomes in Oakland.
Yes.
Because Patrick Mahomes
You're right.
just went wild in the second quarter. Those 4 touchdowns just in that quarter, and that's all the points they score. But 28-10, if AB had been on the other side, on the Oakland side, I don't think it would have changed that outcome.
Well, Skip, he might have threw for more yards because at least they'd have been scoring. They kept it going back and forth, and
I
so
don't know,
he'd
man.
had to keep scoring. But, Skip, and people like, well, the settlement, $2 million, why didn't AB? It's easy for someone to say AB should have settled this. But AB doesn't feel he's done anything wrong. I'm not saying that he did. I'm not saying that he did. I don't say she's right, he's wrong. But I'm saying, Skip, it's almost like if someone charges you, let's just say the DA charges you with a crime that you don't feel you committed, and the sentence is 25 years.
I got it.
If you admit to it, I'll give you 5.
Right.
You're like, but I didn't do anything. Why?
I know you would dig in on that one and say, on principle alone, you'd say no.
No.
And his contention is, through his lawyer, it was consensual.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Right.
Skip, I've talked to attorneys that handle this exclusively. He said, Shannon, you'd be surprised. He says because they don't want this to come out. Sometimes they've been in compromising situations. They're married. They see him doing something they shouldn't do, and they stand more to lose if this were to come out as opposed to pay it $1 million, $4 million. But in a situation like this, Skip, AB is looking at it like, man, honestly, it was a consensual relationship.
Yep.
And somehow it went sideways. Maybe I said I no longer wanted to be in this, and something happened. But it's easy for people to say, $2 million, that's nothing. $2 million is a lot of money.
Yep.
$2 million is a lot of money when you feel you've done nothing wrong.
Okay, so back to the
important to say.
football field.
Yeah.
if in fact he stays eligible the
Yes.
rest of this football season, which is possible,
Right.
I believe he will end up being more trouble than he's worth. I also believe Tom Brady might just throw his way right back into the MVP race with Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Because with this, you've got your Moss. It's in a different package,
Right.
obviously, smaller, quicker, different routes, but still lethal. So Brady might just start putting up more record-type numbers the way he did in 07.
Yep.
He might get into the MVP battle with Mahomes that will lead up to a crescendo late in the year when they go to Foxborough, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, Skip, because, okay, they're talking to her today. At some point, you got to talk to AB because you just can't hear her side of the story and take it at face value without hearing his side of the story. So normally when they do these type interviews, it's normal on his day off. Well, Tuesday's his day off. Well, if you haven't scheduled that, so now you got to wait another week. So guess what, Skip? He plays this week. So that's 2 weeks that's gone by, and the NFL hasn't talked to him.
Okay.
So how long does his process go? Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks?
I don't know.
At some point in time, Skip, you got to the NFL is going to have to make a decision here. I believe it's going to need to come sooner rather than later. But at some point in time, if you're talking to her today, you're going to probably need to talk to AB within the next week or two.
Okay, and obviously Mike Florio reported that the player who had witnessed some of their interaction was his cousin, Hollywood Brown.
Right.
Who's obviously lighting it up for the Baltimore Ravens. So would the NFL want to interview him because he could get called as a key witness in the civil suit?
Yes.
He doesn't face any accusations.
No,
That's
no.
what they're saying as well.
Yeah.
No, just his viewpoint on
Right.
it.
On it.
And obviously he's Antonio's cousin,
Right.
very
Yes.
close.
Yeah.
So I don't know how objective he could be, but you could certainly check with him and interview him.
Yes, you absolutely would. But Skip, in this situation, I don't really think anybody, if you're football related, I don't think anybody's surprised that AB played because this is the way the Patriots, this is standard operating procedure.
Well, and they say about the exempt list, it requires a criminal charge or at least enough evidence on the part of an NFL investigation to think that you've violated at least the conduct code. Right?
Correct.
So they're going to start that process today.
Right, and without interviewing anyone, it made it virtually impossible for them to. So you've drawn this conclusion that he had done something wrong without talking to anyone, not talking to him, not talking to her. So I get it. I agree with you. You wish the Patriots, and so do I, for just once, say, you know what,
Just said
guys,
no.
we're just gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
We're playing the Dolphins. Basically, we're playing the number one team in college. That's what the Dolphins are. They're ranked ahead of Clemson and Alabama right now, Skip. So if they were a college,
Oklahoma.
they would be 1, Clemson be 2, Alabama be 3, and so yada yada yada. You know what? I think we can win this game without AB, and then we can move on from here.
Okay, I'm going to say this one more time. The worst nightmare for Roger Goodell in the NFL would be if this goes on to a jury trial and the jury finds in her favor. The NFL would look really bad.
It'd look horrible.
Could look Ray Rice bad.
Yes.
I guess that's a risk they're willing to
Yep.
take at this point. Patriots as well. The 72nd receiver to catch a touchdown pass from Tom Brady. Just to put that in perspective.
Ooh, that's a lot.
The longevity.
I might
of
need
that
to go
guy.
back and try to get
I
me
know.
one.
You
I
should.
mean, you probably could have had a few.
Well, I saw Jason Witten get one yesterday, so I can get one.
Is that not a sweet strike?
Yeah, stop.
You know what I'm starting to enjoy, though? Talking about the Cowboys. There's just so much there. Another big performance from Dak. Has he proven anything to this guy, maybe? We'll answer that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM.
No mercy.
Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future, or visit www.pacificlife.com.
No mercy.
So Dak Prescott, well, he picked up right where he left off from week 1. He only had 4 incompletions to go along with 269 yards, 3 touchdowns in the 31-21 win over the Redskins. The Cowboys quarterback also racked up 69 yards on the ground, including a 42-yard run to help set up the Cowboys' go-ahead score in the second quarter. Dak has completed 82% of his passes for nearly 700 yards and 7 touchdowns through 2 games. So, Shannon, what has Dak proven to you so far? And this guy.
He's done what he should do against 2 bad teams. Nothing more, nothing less. But, Skip, I will say this. He's shown in these 2 games, he's throwing the ball with more conviction, more consistent accuracy. He did miss a throw to Gallup up the rail that he had him open for a touchdown when.
You know what? I thought that was a decent throw. I thought he didn't adjust to it very well. It was highly catchable. I also thought he got lost in the sun.
Well, it's kind of hard to adjust when you're running full speed.
Yeah.
You expect the quarterback who's standing with a clean pocket and a nice
He
platform.
expected him to look this way, and he looked that way.
Okay, whatever,
Yeah.
Skip. Normally, when you're running a go route, the side that you're on, you look to that shoulder. If I'm on the right side, I'll look to the left.
Was
if
it
I'm on the left
underthrown?
side,
No. Was it overthrown? No.
Skip, it was just, hello, Skip.
Sorry.
It's my turn.
I know, but you just got preempted.
I see. Look, the Cowboys cannot control who's on their schedule. 2 bad teams out the gate, 2 division games out of the gate. Giants, Washington. They're bad football teams. We know that. Quarterbacks doesn't play very well. Offense is very inefficient the majority of the time, and defenses aren't very good. With the occasion here and there, Washington did a few good things on defense. Kerrigan flashed a little bit, but for the most part, they're not a very good defensive team. I thought he's going through his progressions. He's spreading the ball around. He's not in love with Amari. He's not in love with Gallup. If Gallup's open, he'll throw it to him. If Amari's open, he'll throw it to him. Devin Smith stayed injured at the Giants. I think he tore his ACL.
Jets.
Yep. Back years, Skip, and they ended up moving on.
He had 2 complete ACL ruptures, and God bless him, I'm knocking on wood for him, he's back.
But he was a second-round draft pick, Skip, and he could run. There's not an Ohio State receiver that can't run.
They're a track team.
With the exception of maybe Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is not the burner that most of those guys that come out of that program are at the receiver position. Michael Thomas and Chris Carter, no smart CC, but everybody know you wasn't running that fast. But when I look at Dak, Skip, he's going through his progressions. I will concede that. He looks more confident. He looks like, okay, I got this. It's like 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bam. And he's not holding on to the ball. They give Kellen Moore a lot of credit. He's playing to what Dak does really well. It's not his offense. It's an offense that's catered to what Dak does really well. Dak's doing a good job of getting the ball out of his hand. They're doing a great job of protecting him. And old Zeke Elliott showed his head yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah, old Zeke.
Oh, I didn't see that much.
You didn't see it?
Until the last play of the game.
You know how you didn't see that? That man had all these yards running.
Really? Did he have 100? Then he got 27 on the clock killer at the end.
You know what, Skip Bayless? Why you won't give Zeke no
I
any
give him credit when he deserves it.
Hold on, let me see what old Zeke Elliott.
111.
23 for 111.
Yeah, but 27 came on the last carry just to kill the clock. Well, it did.
He killed the clock.
Okay.
That was the job. You want to kill the clock, he killed the clock.
31-21, kill that clock. Way to go.
So, give him credit. He's played extremely well the first 2 weeks of the season. Really not a whole lot I can hate on right now, Skip, other than the fact I think I can make the Giants and Washington's roster.
You think
at
so?
51, yeah.
Well, you probably think you can make the Cowboys roster in place of good old number 82.
Yeah.
With that shaved head of his.
You really think?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, Jenny, can you help me understand? If I saw Fabio on a Monday at noon, and then I see him again that night at 6, he got a hair full of hair at noon, and now he bald.
It was a little confusing.
I mean, you saw that last year. Locks, just golden locks.
He looked younger.
Now he look like Kojak.
I don't care what he looks like. I'm just glad he's back. Oh, welcome back, Witten. He's back on my side. He's in my huddle. He's on my sideline. He's in my locker room, and he's in my end zone because he caught a touchdown pass yesterday. You cannot take that away from him.
I can't take that away from him, Skip.
Okay, it is now my turn. Once again, Dak Prescott proved yesterday that he is the most valuable Dallas Cowboy, even more valuable than Ezekiel Elliott, who I continue to tell you is the best running back in football. But now we have seen the quarterback dominate the first 2 games. And albeit against teams that are lower ranked in the power rankings, but they are division rivals, and they usually play way over their helmets against this team because they hate this team, and especially the Redskins in Washington hate this team, and they did go ahead 7-0, just as the Giants went ahead 7-0. Then my quarterback happened. And my quarterback happened yesterday after he threw his first interception in 169 attempts against the Washington Redskins. And he had to duck up under the rush. It was early in the game, and it was a nice escape, and he was throwing on the run, and he threw it a little behind Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb got both hands on that ball. I think you should catch that ball. That's just me. You should catch it, but it glanced off his hands into an interception, which is not the worst variety of interceptions. It's not like he didn't see the defender and threw it right to him. It was a slightly catchable pass. I'm going to call it barely catchable, where Shannon Sharpe catches that ball. If you get two hands on it, you snag it.
That's a hard question.
Okay.
If he's running so far, so fast,
I got it.
Got to open his hips.
Dak ripped it, man.
Yeah.
He had a lot of mustard on it. Okay, I get that. But here's the point. I'm going to say it one more time, and people think broken record over here, but he's starting to break records as my quarterback. He just keeps doing the same thing he did over the last 10 games last year after he got Amari Cooper. And what he did was he led the NFL in completions over those 10 games. He was third in the NFL over those 10 games in what's called air distance. How far did the passes travel in the air? So he was not dinking and dacking after he got Amari Cooper. And he's really just doing all the same things that he did since his rookie year, which is make key plays to win games. He's now 34-16 as the starter of this team. That's pretty great.
Yeah, that's very good.
And against the arch rival Redskins, he's now 6-1. That's really great. Trust me.
Bad.
Huh?
Washington's
Okay,
been
well,
bad.
you still got to go beat them. And he should have beaten them last year, except for the bogus call on the
There was no bogus call.
jiggleless ball before the long snapper.
Well, he
snapped it
did.
on
He
the
did
field
give
goal.
up 6 points.
Okay,
on his
so
own possession.
I want you to try to digest these two numbers. Since Dak Prescott came into the league, he has 10 QBRs of 90 plus. That scale of 0 to 100. So 10 times he's gone 90 plus. Over those 4 years, it's 3 plus a little bit of this year. Since he came into the league, the next on the list is Tom Brady with 7. So he has 10. Tom Brady is at 7, tied with a couple other quarterbacks. Yeah. But it's Dak at 10, Tom Brady at 7. Since Dak came into the league, he now has 9 touchdown passes of 50-plus yards. Only above him are Tom Brady with 11 and Phillip Rivers with 11. So you have to start acknowledging something good is happening here. Maybe something great is happening here. But I'm going to say this one more time. I remain outraged. He did not make a single list of top 100 NFL players that we saw through the offseason. Not one list.
Well, he'll get an opportunity.
Dak Prescott, with those numbers I just gave you, the one-loss record, the QBRs of 90-plus, the 9 50-plus yard touchdown passes, did not make the top 100. It's why I'm banging this desk about how he is how do I say this? He's the most underrated, most underappreciated, most underrespected, and most over-criticized quarterback in the league right now, and maybe ever going into his 4th year. Maybe ever. And you say I'm exaggerating that. Huh?
He deserves it.
Well, does he? See, he's the most over-criticized from you. I keep saying, watch this, look what he did here,
Well,
look what he did here.
Well, Skip, we get an opportunity to see. I mean, it's 3 games.
Okay.
Now, guess what? Now he gets Miami coming in, and they're 20.5-point favorites. Now, just last week, the Patriots were 18.5. It went to 19. The game opened up at 20.5 for the Cowboys. And now after that, they're going to get the Saints without Drew Brees.
Okay.
They keep catching breaks. But your day coming, your day of reckoning coming.
All right. His day, you say, keeps coming, and he just keeps on keeping on. And I loved what he said after the game, if we could see and hear what he said, because this is vintage, the essence of Dak Prescott right here.
That's a chip on my shoulder, and that's been there since I've been playing this game for a long time. Always been doubted, always accepted, and that's who I am. So, I mean, yeah, of course that's there, but I'm not going to give credit to one individual.
The one individual was Josh Norman, who got smoked by Dak a couple of deep times yesterday.
Well, that one to Devin Smith wasn't his fault, Skip.
Well, whatever. But you can argue that all you want. But Josh Norman did say the other day that
He did.
If he has this much time, who couldn't do this?
Right.
With this much, if he can go 1, 2, 3, and then go back to his first choice or his first option, then what quarterback could make that play? That's what you've been saying. Well, then yesterday he said, that's not what I said. And he took a shot at the reporters for taking that quote out of context. And he said, Dak is a great quarterback. And then he said, every quarterback we play is a great quarterback. Aha. Josh Norman took a shot just like Shannon Sharpe took a shot. And you know what? He ate it because Dak made him eat it.
Skip, I'm just trying to think. If you take Rodgers, you take Mahomes, boy, you take any of the top quarterbacks and you put them behind that offensive line and you give them a Zeke Elliott, who couldn't do what Dak's doing? Can he do what my homeboy doing?
He's spectacular.
7 straight games with 3 touchdowns on the road.
Yeah, and he's won what? Nothing
What
yet.
is that? He won. I tell you what he did win. He won the division last year, just like Dak did in his first year starting. He gonna win it again.
Is he gonna win a Super Bowl?
He'll win one for Dak.
My team is going to this year's Super Bowl.
And I hope your face. I would love to see
you
that
don't mind
one.
saying that. That's
I don't
just
mind it at all
confident.
because I believe in this team.
jinxes,
I
okay.
don't love the defense yet. And again, the defense hasn't shown up the way it should, even though it has held those 2 woeful division opponents to 4 of 20 on third down.
Yeah.
But my man, DeMarcus Lawrence, goose-egged yesterday. He had zeros across the board.
Yeah.
Yep, zeros. It's not good enough. Robert Quinn does come back this week from his suspension, his 2-game suspension, so maybe that will help give him a bookend pass rusher.
Y'all need to get old Taco.
Yeah.
Make it Taco
I think
Sunday.
Taco's on the, I think he's
Trade
now
block?
on the trade block, yes. So you can have all the tacos you want. It can be Taco Monday,
What about
Tuesday,
Taco Sunday?
Wednesday, or
What about
Thursday.
Taco Sunday? I've been waiting on Taco Sunday.
I don't know. I
He
did too.
He can patent that.
Well, I
Taco
don't know.
Sunday.
They have fallen completely out of love with him because at Michigan, he jumped off the screen.
I kept telling you that, Skip.
Yeah.
You hyped him up too much.
No, okay,
Oh,
well,
Taco,
maybe
you're
I
going to be
did.
getting tacos.
Well, I haven't hyped my quarterback up too much because that was a display yesterday.
He's played.
That was look at the drives that he puts together. Look at this. So after they had 2 punts and the interception to start off the game. Then he goes 97 yards and 7, 83 and 11, 75 and 11, 68 and 11, and 54 and 10. And they go all in order. These are Dak attack vintage long drives. And at one point he completed 18 straight passes, but he can't throw. That's what I've heard across the desk. He can't throw. And he just keeps on keeping on.
Skip, he played with, look, when you play bad teams, you don't play down to their level and you don't allow them to hang around and beat you late in the ball game. I will concede he's played well against 2 bottom feeders in the NFL. You know, I'm not breaking, this is not earth-shattering news. We're not interrupting your normally scheduled program to say that Washington and the Giants aren't any good. People know that if you watch them play the first 2 weeks, they aren't very good. Dak has done what he should do against bad teams. And that's the mark. Who knows? They might be on to something. The things that we admire, one of the things we admire about the Patriots is they don't play down to the level of competition. They play their style of football, and normally it's good enough to win. What we're seeing from the Cowboys this year, thus far, knock on wood if you agree with me.
I don't need to.
Yeah, knock on wood if you
can
agree
knock
with
on
me.
wood 'cause
Yeah,
you're hoping against hope that you're right.
No.
Yep.
They've done what they were supposed to do against 2 bad teams, and now they're going to get a 3rd bad team, and now they're going to get a team without one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So you're about to go 4-0, and you're going to come in here again next week. How about you beat the Dolphins?
We can only beat who's on our schedule.
Don't do that, Skip. They should take
Well, you always tell me.
They should take the Dolphins off the schedule.
Really?
The Dolphins should not be allowed to play until they get it up. They should not be allowed.
Hey,
They're like a restaurant. Until you get your team up to par, you can't play.
We still have to go to New England. We have to play the Rams and the Packers.
Woo! I love it. I love it.
Yep, we still got all kinds of issues facing us.
You sure
and
do.
We will overcome.
Oh, Tom, terrific. I'm gonna have a Tom Brady jersey on that day.
I bet you are. Yep.
I'm gonna call to get my Patriots helmet. I'm going to be decked out, ready to go.
Really?
So my only quibble with Dak Prescott yesterday was on 3rd and 1, finally Kellen Moore is letting him use his legs, and he is gashing people with his legs because he goes about 240, and he can move a little bit. I'm not saying he's a blazer, but he can move.
He ain't no blazer.
So he breaks loose for a 42-yard run, and the only problem I had, if we could see this play, is that he starts looking sideways like to Gallup. Are you going to screen him off? And it's Josh Norman.
Well, he should slow down, Skip.
No. He should. You just put your head down and go as hard as you can.
He was going hard as he could.
No, he was looking sideways. He was holding up. He was starting to ease up a little bit, looking over to see whether Gallup could get there to shield off.
That's not Lamar Jackson.
Hey, that's Josh Norman running. I'm not sure Josh can outrun Dak. I'm not sure.
Well, he don't.
Seriously.
Well,
I love Josh. I like him personally a lot.
If he can't outrun Dak, he doesn't need to be on that island.
But knowing Dak, if Dak had just put his head down and looked at the goal line, he might have just dragged Josh to the goal line. He might have.
Yeah, you make it seem like that's Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson running. Maybe even Kyler Murray.
I didn't say that. But again, he has a big old chip on his shoulder. Maybe that's dragging him down a little bit.
He had a piano on his back yesterday.
Yeah.
Look at him running.
No, he did not. He
you
started easing up.
Your feet start going all outside.
Because he's trying to decide, are you going to shield him so I can cut inside you?
Well, no, Skip. If he slows down and let Gallup get in between them, then he can cut behind him, hit the sideline, and then when he cuts back, now he can cut back the other way. You got to understand how to zig and zag. But see, when he should have been zagging, he was zigging.
He said he was fueled by what Josh said before the game. So if you're fueled, just fuel all the way to the goal line. Drag him. Drag him. Let him put his hands up on your pads and just drag him to
Man, he just dragged. Skip. The man got 42 yards. Why can't you just be happy with that? He played well. Skip. He played well. He went through his progressions against a bad football team, but he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't play down to the level of competition. He didn't allow a bad team to hang around and kick a late field goal or get a last-second touchdown to beat you. Dak and the Cowboys played well. Okay, anything else you want me to add?
He played sensational.
No, he didn't. Did he throw an interception?
What was my prediction before the season? That you're going to sit over there every Monday and eat more and more crow. Do you like it fried? Do you like it
temporarily
honey roasted?
It's temporary. Temporary. I'm gonna have my moments. You get your moments early. I get my moments late.
Really?
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make. During the game, I said out loud, I like Dak. Like, I feel like I'm on the Dak train. I've been listening to both sides of this for a long time, but I like him. I root for him. I like how he talks to the media. I like how his teammates respect him.
Jenny,
we
the home team. That's
I like
the visitors.
Dak. I'm in on him. I'm rooting for the guy.
Jenny, we don't need
It's
you on
been
our side.
decided. Oh, now you want me to leave?
We're okay.
So I'm not even welcome around
We're
here?
just fine. Next question.
Seriously?
See, Jenny, that's what I'm talking about. See, you try to be nice.
Try to do one thing? Okay, fine. Maybe not, Skip. Thought that you would appreciate that. So am I supposed to like
what
Carson
happened when
Wentz
you went
now?
to the game last night?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to make nice of all that.
all right,
We're going to talk about someone else.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz and the Eagles, they did come up a little short last night in Atlanta, playing from behind most of the game. Philly dealt with injuries that sidelined Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, and several other players. And even Wentz, for a handful of plays, that was an interesting couple minutes. Despite that, the Eagles took the lead until the Falcons took it back with an impressive catch and run from Julio Jones. Wentz would get one more shot, but Zach Ertz came up just a few inches short on fourth down. So, Shannon, who's most to blame for the Eagles' loss?
Injury.
Yeah,
you know, Skip? Name Scott injuries. Because that's what happened to the team. They lost D-Jack, Alshon, and Goddard. And Wentz were in and out of the lineup for a little while. He took a shot to the ribs. Deion Jones, he went to throw a pass, and he jumped in the air, and Deion caught him up under his rib protectors. And then he looked like he took one to the chin. Guy that was in concussion protocol. There were a couple of guys that were in concussion protocol. But as bad as they played, Wentz turned it over through two horrible interceptions. Skip, he hit Aguilar in the hands, what looked like would have been a game-winning touchdown. And he dropped it. He made plays. Skip, I mean, the one that on fourth down when he got dragged down from the back, I hurt my ankle. That was the start of my ankle injuries, getting tackled like that. I hate getting tackled like that.
When who got dragged down?
Wentz. Remember, he threw the one on fourth down, his knees almost hit, and he hit the guy for a completion. But the injuries, even though as bad as they played, can you imagine? Just imagine, let's just say for the sake of argument, the Cowboys, they lose Michael Gallup, they lose Amari Cooper, they lose their backup tight end. See, they still have Zeke. And Dak goes in and out of the lineup. See, now you understand what I'm talking about, Skip. But Give them credit. They fought. They're going to get this together. They still haven't played a complete football game yet. They played the second half against Washington in week 1, had to come from behind. They were down 17-0 at one point, was down 20-7 at one point, had to play great second half, came back. They really played good in spurts. They showed you what they could be if they put this thing together. I'm concerned not with their offense, Skip. I'm concerned with their defense. Darby is supposed to be their number 1 corner, and they targeted him. If you're the number 1 corner, team shouldn't say, you know what, I don't care who's over there. Julio, okay, we throwing you the ball. Calvin Ridley, we throwing you the ball. Sanu, we throwing you the ball. Whomever lined up on Darby, they were throwing him the ball.
That is true.
That's not how it's supposed to be if you're the number 1 corner.
Mm-hmm.
But injuries is to blame for this right here, Skip. You know this. And even though 2 picks, all the injuries with Alshon and D-Jack and Goddard being out, he throws a beauty to Aguilar. Mm-hmm. And he he dropped it. Or we might be having a different conversation today.
Yet, next play, Wentz got a break because he threw like a punt up to Aguilar, and it just fell right in the middle of like 5 Falcons right to him. And all of a sudden, they were back in business.
Well, Skip, what happened was they're playing this 3rd and 4th, that's 4th and 14, and they're playing the sticks. So you know, okay, and what he does is he keeps going because everybody had already stopped their feet, settled their feet. So it's a perfect play. It's almost like the play you remember when the Broncos in the championship game, they got Gronkowski played in and out. And Gronkowski stutters and keeps straight up the field, and Tom Brady throws him the deep ball.
He did.
That's just what happens right there. They thinking they're they're just going to get the first down. But Aguilar's like, nope, I'm going to keep it going and walk it to him. Stood in there, took another one under the chops.
He didn't exactly walk that to him.
Walk it to him with.
Yeah, he just heaved it up in
No,
the
he
air.
didn't
and
walk it to him.
It was like 20 yards short of where it should have
No,
fallen.
no.
Because if he'd thrown it where it should have been, it would have been a touchdown.
Skip, the man got hit up on his chin.
Okay, he got hit up under his chin all night long.
Exactly.
And
he's
wait,
standing in there.
I thought Pro Football Focus told us that that's the best offensive line in football, right?
Well, they weren't last night. They weren't last night.
Were they healthy last night?
Yeah,
I
they
know
were
Kelsey went in concussion protocol briefly, but he came back out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I will give you the injuries. And definitely, if I want to boil it down to one throw, one play, Aguilar has to catch that ball because I'm pretty sure he would have scored.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he had it. Yeah.
And maybe there was enough time left that Matt Ryan would have gone the other way and scored because he is good at doing that. I don't love Matt Ryan. I still can't believe he won an MVP, but he did. And since his MVP, he's been Cam-like, where he's been hit and miss. He's not been the same guy.
Skip, the dude had 35 tubs and 7 INTs last year.
And they did what?
They did the defense. Injuries.
Okay, injuries, says Shannon Sharpe. So Aguilar should have caught that ball, but in the end, the Eagles will go as far as their quarterback takes them. So classically, he dug a hole that he almost lifted them out of.
Yes.
He just couldn't quite get there. Aguilar could have helped him get there. And Wentz could have helped him Ertz could have helped him get there.
You got to get past the
You
sticks.
just got to get to the sticks. And Ertz was crushed after the game, and he took the loss on his shoulders, and he had tears in his eyes when he was talking after the game. So I get that, because he loves his quarterback, and you want to talk about a security blanket?
Yes.
I tweeted before the last drive that Wentz should pull this off because they cannot cover Zach Ertz, and they couldn't. And you want to talk about a flammable, torchable back end? The Falcons have one too. I don't care what you say. When you're up four, and all you have to do is keep them out of the end zone, and you let Aguilar just bust up the sideline and beat you with what should have been a touchdown pass. That's just shameful.
Yeah.
And they got right back into a position where they could have scored after that. So to me, this is just what I see of Carson Wentz. As you said, he had a couple of horrible interceptions. Just me. Not my cup of tea. And I've said this from his year number one. He has a big arm. He's a big young man, strapping, but he takes way too much punishment because he doesn't have a great feel for playing the position. The arm can get him out of trouble. He's got some athletic ability that can get him out of trouble. It can also get him into harm's way. But I don't see art in his game. I don't see a lot of poise in his game. I see wild throws, on top of great throws. I'll see one where he'll just throw a rocket that hits somebody right in the hands, and then he'll throw a rocket that misses by 10 yards. Wild throws and wild eyes. His eyes look wild to me, which is why I say deer in headlights occasionally. So he can put up big numbers, and he can make mistakes where you say, man, what are you doing there? I'm not sure you have picked the right horse in this race with Dak Prescott.
I got it right.
I'll take my quarterback over your quarterback any day or Sunday night.
You got him. I mean, your guy playing really well the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But we got 14 more races.
My
to
guy
run.
beat that guy twice last year.
Yeah, we beat you twice the year before. So we were, about to take winner take all.
Speaking of injuries, I didn't have half my team.
Oh, but you didn't have.
Before. Well, I didn't.
Yeah, but you said that in 2017.
Didn't have Sean
Well,
Lee.
I didn't have
my
Sean
left
Lee.
tackle.
You didn't have
No, that's
Tyler.
what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can understand what happened to us last night.
Well, to a certain extent, but you did have Ertz and you did have Aguilar, so you did have that.
Well,
And that Hollins kid looked pretty good that they brought in.
You did have Dez.
Yeah. Dez?
Yeah, you have
Talking
Martin.
about
You
a
have
liability?
No.
That's what that is. That's a liability. And I ain't lying about the liability.
But the defense concerns me, especially the back end. I think the front four, they're going to put pressure. They can get home. But Skip, like you said, you can't have that missed assignment. You can't have him thinking it's going to be one coverage and you let the guy get a rail shot. Because that normally that's supposed to end that's supposed to depress you. That's supposed to be 6. Aguilar should have hit his head on the goalpost.
Yep. Well, in the end, Julio earned his money.
Oh, my God.
Because there's nobody you want the ball in their hands in that situation better than that guy.
He's tremendous run ethic. He's unbelievable.
Once he gets uncorked, once he gets unwound, whew,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
But I mean, they shouldn't even skip after 3 interceptions. Matt threw a pick in the end zone. I'm like, Matt, what are you doing?
I think his arm got nicked, his elbow got nicked.
But he
still.
threw some bad picks.
Yeah, I know.
He threw some bad picks.
He's just not what he used to be to
Decision-making.
me. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't love that team, and I'm not sure I love your Eagles.
That's all right. We'll see when we play you guys.
Okay.
That's a rivalry.
Let's hope it comes quickly.
Quickly.
No, it's not
Can we,
up to
can we
this
move
guy.
up the schedule a little bit?
Yeah, maybe we
Okay.
could replace the Dolphins at this
Oh,
point.
my goodness.
Get them out of the mix. Yeah.
The
I don't even know if I'm going to watch
20
that.
and a half.
I know you
somebody
will.
somebody need to find out what's the biggest line. Because Skip, this got to be one of the biggest 2 or 3 lines in the NFL. 20 points for an NFL. Skip, this is not Alabama versus Charleston Southern.
I know.
This is an NFL. And you talk about 3 touchdowns?
I predicted the Patriots would win 40-14, and they won 43-0.
Oh, I know they're going to cover that.
To nothing?
And the Cowboys going to cover this.
Yikes.
Cowboys going to cover this.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, you got this, huh?
Yeah, got it.
You're starting to
Feeling it?
come over to my side.
No.
on this, aren't you?
I'm going to need you to give me 28 points. And I'll take the Dolphins for 28.
28. Well, you said they're going to cover, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need 28.
I'll
The line is 20 and a half, I think. I need 28.
Well, we'll discuss that later.
We got a long week to get there, Shannon.
Jenny,
I don't
Jenny,
even know
I do
why.
appreciate that you came over. I
No,
appreciate
it's Skip, I'm over it. I am
There you
over
go.
it.
There you go.
Tried to be nice.
I keep trying to tell you.
Tried to tell you I was really feeling good about the Cowboys.
okay.
No, I'm good.
It's okay.
I'm definitely over it. Lamar Jackson
you ought to
and
go to a
Kyler
game.
Murray put on a show yesterday. Maybe I should go to the next game.
Yeah.
That might help.
Go to the
Who
Dolphins
looked
game.
better. That's next.
No mercy.
Do you have a favorite NFL team or player? Think about how much better they must play and recover after high-quality sleep. More than 1,800 NFL players are now sleeping on Sleep Number beds. Sleep Number beds allow you to adjust on each side to your ideal firmness, comfort, and support. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you sleeping comfortably through the night. With Sleep IQ technology inside the bed, it tracks how you're sleeping so you can know every morning how well you've slept, plus gain insights for your best sleep. Experience the smart, effortless comfort of the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Find your competitive edge with proven quality sleep from $999. Sleep Number is the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. You'll only find Sleep Number at one of their 575 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find the one nearest you at sleepnumber.com/cadence.
No mercy.
Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray didn't disappoint when the two young stars met yesterday in Baltimore. Lamar became the first player in NFL history to pass for over 250 yards and rush for over 120 yards in a single game. Kyler threw for 349 yards, joining Cam Newton as only the second player ever to throw for over 300 yards in his first 2 career games. So Lamar, Ravens, would end up getting the 23-17 win. Shannon, who had the better game, Kyler or Lamar?
Is this a trick question?
It's not a trick.
Really, Skip Bayless?
You think Kyler did?
Hey,
No?
And L. Jack had this thing, and it wasn't even
Oh,
close.
now
Skip.
L.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Skip. We in 100 years, this is the 100th year anniversary of the NFL, and we've never seen a guy do what Lamar Jackson did yesterday. Throw for 250, run for $120. Now, we've seen a guy do what Kyler did. As a matter of fact, Cam took it one better. Cam did 400, did 423 and 432.
Shannon, we've seen one guy do it.
One
guy.
We never seen anybody do what L. Jack did.
Have we ever seen Cam do that again?
No.
No.
Hold on.
No.
What's 400, Skip? Have we ever seen Kyler throw for 400 yet? Okay, then.
We will.
No, we don't know that. Hold on. Skip. Now, Jenny, he said he loved this stat because he just mentioned it earlier because he said Dak Prescott, since he entered the league, got more 90-plus QBR ratings than Tom Brady.
Yep.
Well, yesterday, Lamar Jackson had a 90.
He had a 90.
Kyler Murray had a 58.
That is correct.
Is that good? I didn't think so,
The
Skip.
90 is really, the 58's not bad.
Let me tell you what Kyler Murray just did yesterday. Skip, it's like a person that's eating really, really healthy, has this really, really strenuous workout, and then he goes home and eats a cinnamon roll. That's empty calories. Nothing. No nutritional value has been added.
Well, you get some carbs.
Okay, get some carbs.
I've been that person. Great example.
Okay, I remember you said that too. I remember you said that. So you got some carbs.
Oh, you do. You get a few.
Those are empty calories. His numbers are empty. They mean nothing. Has Kyler Murray ever played from a lead? Has he ever been anything other than 10, 15 points behind?
He's played 2 games. He
Okay.
tied Detroit, and Detroit beat the Chargers yesterday.
That's
impressive.
Hold on, it's tie. Man,
Tie?
that's
Yeah,
like,
tie.
That's like kissing Halle Berry through a screen pool.
Really?
What you doing? Lips don't touch. Oh, that's Halle Berry on the other side. What? Yeah, what is that?
That's a funny
Nothing.
Do you
Good.
speak from
I
experience?
know. I ain't saying nothing. But Skip, you need to stop
So
this.
close.
What we're seeing Lamar, Skip, is we're seeing the maturation, and we took for granted the guy did win a Heisman Trophy. He threw for over 3,000 yards, rushed for over 1,500 yards. And the question was, I'm not saying he needs to be Tom Brady or he needs to be able to throw the ball like Brees, but if he can just become slightly above average with his running ability, Skip, he literally can do what he did in college. He can throw for 3,000 and rush for 1,000 yards, Skip. I believe he will do that. Skip, the ball comes out of his hand better than I thought because I watched him a lot yesterday.
It's getting better, man.
Yes. And he's got a reliable guy in Mark Andrews as tight end.
does.
When he
University of Oklahoma, thank you.
Oh, my God.
Well,
when he gets in trouble. And
how about the other Oklahoma guy? You didn't get to him yet.
I ain't get
Not
to him.
yet.
Yeah, Hollywood doing big things.
That
Hollywood
one,
doing big
true.
things.
We can mention him.
He doing big things. But I love what Lamar is doing right now, Skip. He's better than I thought he would this earlier. I knew he had to progress because he's light years throwing the football this year compared to where he was last year. And I talked to Ozzie at the Hall of Fame this past August.
Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome, who's the old general manager, who was his last draft pick
Okay.
in the first round was Lamar Jackson.
That guy. Yep.
He said, Shannon, he's going to surprise a lot of people.
Really?
He's throwing the ball better than you think. And he's going to surprise a lot of people. And Skip, you and I took Cleveland, you took Pittsburgh. But the team you need to watch out for in that division is the purple and black. They're tough. Their defense is going to keep them in every game. And this kid is getting better and better now. They got a big, tall task next week.
They go to KC.
They go to KC.
Yep.
But
That'll be
Skip,
fun.
that could be where he throws for 300 and rush for 100, and Mahomes might throw for 500.
Well, Lamar played great at Kansas City last year and was in position to
And
pull it off.
It took a fourth down heave
It did.
for them to get
Thank
it done.
you.
But I thought Lamar Jackson outplayed Kyler yesterday. Skip, they kicked 3 field goals from inside the 5-yard line. So what that tells me, he's
You
not.
mean
getting-
Arizona did.
Arizona did.
I know. They had 3 times they went inside the 5 and couldn't catch.
And so hold on, if you that guy, you mean to tell me you that guy? You the fastest quarterback in the NFL, and you can't run it in from there? You can't throw it in there because you know the ball just jumps out of his hand, Jenny.
It
You know
does.
the ball jumps out of his hand. You never see anybody just
You
flick
being
it.
derisive and sarcastic?
Just flick it. Did somebody tell me just flick it?
Little sarcasm.
And the ball goes 50 yards.
So, wait, you just told me Baltimore is legit. They are serious business,
Yeah.
especially on defense. He threw for 349 in his second NFL game, in his first ever NFL road game with a bad team.
Yeah.
You talked about how bad the Giants are and the Redskins are. This team is worse than the Giants and the Redskins all around. Overall,
No.
it's not a good football team. Sorry, it's just not. Larry Fitz is on his last legs.
He had another 100-yard game.
Crabtree's on his last legs. This is what you got. Little Christian Kirk in the slot, and
Had
you throw
100
for
yards.
349, and you can't run a lick. They had 20 yards rushing yesterday. Couldn't run a lick while the other team was rushing for 182 yards thanks to 120 from, what do you call him, L-Jack?
L-Jack.
Okay, we'll call him L-Jack now.
The L-Jack era is upon us.
And I agree with you. Lamar Jackson took my breath away yesterday because I didn't see that last year.
No.
I saw really good last year.
Yes.
I saw a young man who got them to the playoffs and then had a really hard time in his first playoff game.
Right.
But that guy yesterday, you were talking about how Dak looks like he's just figured it out as
Right.
an in control. That looked figured out to me, albeit against the Arizona Cardinals, but still, when push came to shove and when my little man got his team back in the game once again, because that's what he does in the fourth quarter. Who made the throw of the game on 3rd and 1 from his 44 with 2:58 left in the game? This is the throw of the game. It was L-Jack, Lamar Jackson. Look at this. This is a rocket now. This is an NFL throw.
Drop it to him. Drop it to him.
Drop it to him. Is that what we're going to call him? Drop it to him?
Woo-hoo!
Guess who that little man was who caught that ball? That might be Hollywood Brown from the University of Oklahoma. That was the man, Jenny Taft,
I love that guy.
who was hurt when little Kyler Murray had to
Oh,
play
my
big,
goodness.
bad Knicks defense, St. Nick's defense.
was injured.
And you say, well, what did he do against Alabama? He didn't have that guy. He
Wouldn't have
did-
made a difference.
Oh, wouldn't have made a difference. Are
would've
you kidding? I kept telling you,
something.
that little man can run by anybody, anywhere, any stage, any moment.
Just to see where Lamar is now, Skip, because you remember his first playoff game, the home crowd in San Diego was booing him.
Mm-hmm.
They were booing him because he couldn't throw a pass. He was getting sacked. They were hitting him.
It looked bad.
And now, you look at Skip, I mean, not this quick. I mean, you're like, he's got to improve. We know he's going to improve some. But to improve this much, he's night and day. Skip, they're throwing the ball. They're not running him. We thought, okay, because John Harbaugh said, we're going to run him like 20 times a game. I said, you get him hurt. Skip, he threw the ball 37 times yesterday. 37. So that tells me they have a lot of confidence in his ability to throw the football.
Yep.
And it's well placed. I think the best thing that they did, Skip, they got a guy that had a guy similar in San Francisco. They hired Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator. And Lamar Jackson has Colin Kaepernick's speed. So we knows what can happen if he get outside the pocket.
He's a little faster than Colin. to
You
me.
think so?
Yes, I do. I just do.
Cap could run, Skip.
I know, but so can this.
But his ability to throw the football is what has me most impressed.
Okay.
I knew he could run, but not throw the ball this well, this soon.
Okay, so to me, and I am a Kyler fanatic, you could say, but I thought Kyler had the better game on degree of difficulty because your second start against Baltimore on the road as a 13-point underdog, and you somehow get your team back into the game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, what was it, 23-16 or what? But the point was, he had them back in position to challenge to win the game. It took that throw that we just saw from Lamar to ice the game. So if you give Kyler the ball back, who knows what happens?
Nothing was going to happen. The same thing happened. They were 2 of 11 on third down. Well, I want to know, on third down, who's playing quarterback for Arizona? Last week they were 9 of 22 on third down. I just want to know, on third down, who's playing quarterback?
Help me out. Who covered in both those games? Who covered with a tie and a narrow loss?
Whoa!
Who covered?
Covered what?
Yeah, 13 points.
I don't need no
I kept
blanket.
trying to tell you, I'll take the 13.
I don't need no blanket. I don't need no cover. I don't need no cover. No, that ain't how we do. We don't do that here, Skip Bayless. We do wins, and we do when you come to Shannon
No, I
Sharpe's
do
restaurant.
covers.
When you come to the Sharp Cafe.
I dared you last week to give me 13.
No, and I say no. I say they're gonna lose, but I'm not giving you 13.
Oh, why not? Baltimore's legit.
Skip.
Shit.
When you come to my restaurant, you can get two things.
Really?
You can get dubs or L's. I took QBR off the menu. But I'm thinking about adding that. Little Lamar got that 90. I might add QBR back.
For circumstances?
Yeah. Like once every 3 weeks, you can come in and get a nice plate of QBR.
Poor old Carson Wentz had to sit out on the curb last night, just aching out on the curb.
But your guy, don't worry about it. Your guy gonna come to the restaurant too.
So to sum this up, our man Nelly texted me actually very early this morning because he was still up while I was getting up. But he made a great point. He said he saw basically the future of the NFL yesterday with these two young players playing each other, because he said once there's no more Brady and Brees, that the next Super Bowl he was predicting could go to one of these two. And of course I said, well, Kyler's got a long road to hoe.
Oh, yeah, they're a long way from that.
Because he needs a lot of help.
Yes,
But
yes.
Lamar, I don't know.
It's exciting.
They're much closer. Yeah.
A lot of guys that, they were doubted. Lamar, Kyler, Hollywood. Everyone had something to say about him, and they all had something to prove. It was fun to watch.
Well,
sure.
the thing what Kyler is not with his ability to throw, Skip. Could he stay healthy?
Yeah.
If you watch the way teams are attacking him early, Skip, they are blitzing the bejesus out of him.
Which is why Cliff Kingsbury, who doesn't have this in his sort of philosophical approach to football, he needs to let Kyler beat the blitz with his legs more. Because he ran 3 times, and I don't even think they were called, for 4 yards yesterday. Right. Trust me, Jenny can attest. At Oklahoma, he ran for 1,000. It was 1,001 yards last year.
And that ain't happening there.
Yeah.
Oh, but Lamar gonna get 1,000 rushing and 3,000 passing.
Just watch.
Ravens, Chiefs next week, and then Cardinals, Panthers, which maybe that could be a game for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole different discussion. We got a week to go there.
Can't throw him how it's done. The real number one.
Yeah.
They got a pretend number one and they got a real number one.
Oh, so you just call Kyler Murray a pretend number one.
The real number one is
We
Cam.
got that on tape. Pretend
Cam.
number one.
We're not
You're
gonna-
going to hear
Cam.
that again.
We're going to talk about Antonio Brown again. He had a pretty successful debut with the Patriots yesterday. Are we surprised? Greg Jennings joins us. Let's get his answer next.
No mercy.
So Antonio Brown looked impressive on the field in his Patriots debut after only practicing a few days with his new team. Tom Brady didn't waste any time getting his new target involved, hitting the receiver 4 times in the first half. AB ended up with 56 yards and a touchdown. And after the game, Belichick and Brady said it was a good start with Brown, but there were still room for improvements. So we're now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Are you surprised how quickly and how much AB played?
You know what? I wasn't surprised. I honestly wasn't surprised. When we talk about the talent that he provides this team and what he brings to the table as far as his catching ability, his playmaking ability, his impact on defenses, you're going to put him in the game. And we've never talked about Antonio Brown as struggling being a guy that can't learn an offense. Now, his first actual physical practice was Wednesday, but he got signed the week before, so he was getting those mental reps. He was in his playbook, but I think when I saw this game, I looked at Tom Brady as one who did a spectacular job in making sure he was involved with everything that he has going on, he being Antonio Brown. Outside of football, we have, and you know this, Shannon, being an athlete, being on that football field, we have the 3.5 hour window.
We're distraction free.
Nothing else in your life. Don't get me wrong, you understand what's going on, but in that moment, you're so present, you have to be so in tune to the game, nothing else matters. And so what he does best is what we're watching him do. And that's play football, and that's catch balls. So I thought Tom Brady did a phenomenal job of making sure he was in it right away.
Yep.
Like his head was going to be in it for the duration of however long that was needed, which we saw wasn't that much into the game. And then I give a lot of credit to Josh McDaniels. Understanding that when a guy comes in, whether he be a rookie, Skip, or whether he be a free agent or a trade acquisition on a short week, I don't need you to learn the concepts. I don't need you to learn the full playbook. I need you to learn this position right here. In this small piece of the puzzle, these plays, this is your package.
Right.
I need you to know that. He only played 33% of the plays, their snaps on offense. So that's not a lot.
Nope.
But he was effective.
Right.
Why? Because he had understood this is what they're going to give me right now. Now, had he played a different opponent and they need him in crucial situations, we might have seen something different. But for yesterday, I wasn't surprised.
And I think they did a great job. Skip, this is why you know they went out of their way to get him the ball. He only played 24 snaps. They had 72 total snaps. 24 snaps, 8 targets. So that tells me they're going intentionally trying to get him involved. And with most receivers, especially number one guys, give them the ball early, you'll have them late.
Yes.
And the one thing that AB always wants, he wants you to get him the ball early. Everybody, if you can get that ball, Skip, just let him feel the ball early. Within the first drive, throw him a ball. Throw in his direction to let him know we counting on you. You got him for the rest of the game. And that's what they did because they know he wasn't going to play. And like Greg said, you give him a package of plays. Now, once you learn that package, we'll start to expand and we can move you around.
Yes.
Because, see, we'll figure now, if they just leave him outside, they're going to figure a way to defend that. But what makes it hard for these top guys, they're moving from left to right, slot, they motion him, they stack him. They do all these sorts of things with him. Skip, he's unbelievable. His release, nobody wants to press him because if you miss him, it's goodbye. It's goodbye, and then he's going to be jumping in the end stands and hugging the goalpost and doing all these crazy things. But I was not surprised in the least because as a player, hell, if I practice all week, I expect to play.
That's my expectation.
He practiced all week. Yeah. He should expect to play. And you know how Coach Belichick is, Skip. Coach Belichick is simple. If you practice, you play, and I expect you to play well. So Coach Belichick was not going to do something the NFL didn't do. The NFL didn't set Antonio Brown, so Coach Belichick wasn't going to set Antonio Brown. So we're not surprised by what transpired. I thought he'd have 3 or 4 catches, 24 snaps, but it's only going to expand. He played 24 this week. Oh, that'll be up to 30, 32, and eventually he'll get to where he's played 85, 90% of the snaps.
By the way, the only mistake, quote unquote, that Antonio made yesterday was actually a positive mistake. He jumped too far on his Lambo leap. He actually jumped completely over the edge into the seat and wound up sitting in a seat.
He did.
You've Lambo leaped a bunch in your life, right?
That wall in Miami is not quite as high as it is in Lambeau.
Exactly.
It's funny.
He should have just went on in the stands, decided to stand. Either you're already up there, just go ahead and been pulling your seat up.
It actually turned into kind of a dangerous play because if he had missed the seat, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
What you got?
I was stunned by what I saw, and I was disappointed by what I saw because all those, you say he played only 24% of the snaps. It was clear that both Belichick and Brady were waving their middle fingers at the NFL world right out of the box because technically he didn't start the game because he didn't play the first play.
Right.
And then he comes popping onto the field for play number 2, and I said, only those guys would do that. Those two are watch this guys. Oh, you don't think he should play game number 1 for us? Or it's our second game, obviously. He shouldn't play his first game. We should keep him on ice for a while. We should ease him in. Nope. Watch this, NFL. And I'm watching, and I'm not loving because, again, second play of the game goes to AB, and then 2 plays later, it's to AB, and then 2 more plays later, it's to AB. Tom's first 2 passes went to AB, as I'm starting to call him Antonio Moss because he is starting to fill that role. And it feels like, to me, he's about to hijack their offense because they're going to let him hijack it. And you know, because you were the first to dig in on this, this is the one guy you can't let take over your football team. Because if you do, he will become very quickly more trouble than he's worth. And I believe he will ultimately be more trouble than he's worth just on the I'm not talking about the lawsuit, but more trouble than he's worth to the Patriots. Because I'm going to say it one more time. They got mossed in 07 because they broke all those records until they got to the Super Bowl, and then they threw it 48 times and ran it only 16 times, and they lost 17-14. And Randy Moss helped them win exactly no Lombardis. 3 years and 4 games he was there. And again, were they really good? And sure, they set records, and they got to 18-0, and then they lost because they weren't balanced. And now they looked like incredibly, like unstoppably balanced to me a week ago Sunday night against Pittsburgh. They dismantled the Pittsburgh Steelers and left them for dead. And God bless Ben Roethlisberger. It sounds like they're really going to have problems now. But the point is that I liked that team, and I picked that team to win the Super Bowl. I don't love this team as much as I liked that team before, where, again, if you're going to get A-B conscious, and again, I hate to keep referring to it, but that IG post that he put up when he first signed, where it's the caricature of him sitting on a pile of money with the caption of, "This is the Patriot way."
Business is booming.
It is not the Patriot way. And now it looks like the Patriot way is going to be, watch this, NFL. We have an electric receiver, and he is that.
He is.
He just might be the best receiver in pro football. All things considered, with the electric feet, you can't press him, like you said. He'll beat you short, he'll beat you deep. And he is difficult to cover until you start making your locker room out of balance, unhappy, because he's ruling your world. He had 8 targets yesterday, which led the team. Julian Edelman, the second best receiver in the history of the postseason, the Super Bowl MVP reigning. He got 4 targets. Do you think Julian was really happy last night? I'm sure he's saying, well, this is just game 1. It was like a scrimmage. We just had to get him, sort of initiate him, indoctrinate him into our system. But I will see more of this, because they will fall in love with a guy that can destroy them from inside. And you've said that from the start.
Yep.
You did not like the Steelers giving him his money, and you did not like Oakland taking a shot with him.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Yeah, I think this is different, though. I truly believe that with Antonio Brown coming back this first week for the Patriots, it was about making sure he felt a part of and involved early, so that, as you alluded to, he was in for the duration.
No.
Now, I don't think that this is going to be their keys to success moving forward from week to week, because, as we know with the New England Patriots, it's about one thing and one thing only: winning ball games.
Okay.
However that comes offensively, whether it's on the shoulders of Sony Michel running the ball, or James White coming out of the backfield, Julian Edelman, Tom Brady throwing the ball around, spreading the ball around, that's to be decided by what the defense can or cannot stop.
Great. So help me out. What happens if 2 straight games pass and he gets 3 targets and 1 catch?
Well, then we have to see that.
Absolutely.
We'll find out. We'll hear something.
Because his image on Instagram may be a little different, because he may start to realize what the real true Patriot way is, which is not just one individual player.
Yeah, they're not a team that goes out and tries to get you 15 targets because they only threw you 3 the week before. If the team can't stop the run, Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead will run you out of the building. And if a team sets up for that, and that's what you see, you can skip with your Cowboys. Teams are like, okay, we're going to still try and stop Zeke. Well, now Dak is throwing the ball all over the yard, and then when they back up, now Zeke runs you out of the yard. But
good combination. I like that.
Good combo.
It just, boy, come on, Patriots. I wish I could play the Patriots like 5 times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Ooh.
I still got them winning the Super Bowl.
That's okay. I just got the Patriots winning this game. And we bet and do.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
I'm not betting against the Patriots in Foxborough.
Yeah. The Cowboys.
They're my Super Bowl winners.
Hold on. That's not the Super
Pats
Bowl.
are?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not the Super Bowl, though. We got to bet like 3-4 cases.
No, we do not.
3-4.
They'll go up there like 8-point underdogs.
Okay, I'll give you 8.
Hey, this is Belichick's best defense he may have ever had, the way
They're
they're
playing.
looking.
What about your Cowboys, Skip?
I don't love the defense yet. But
Oh, no,
like
but
the
they don't
offense,
need I don't even know why they bringing the defense to New England. They got Dak. They going to score every time, so you don't even need a defense.
Let's talk
They'll
about
score
that
some
guy,
points.
Dak Prescott. We know that Skip is happy with what he's seen.
Give me 7.
Has he proven anything to
No.
you
Against
right
Miami?
yet? Are we still
No.
going there?
Yeah.
We're going to do it right
Yeah.
now?
Yep.
Official?
I give you 7
okay,
points
it's
right
been
now.
said.
7 points at Foxborough? Okay, done. I'll
Give
take
you the
it.
Cowboys. You got the Cowboys
I got the
now.
Cowboys plus 7 at Foxborough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, write it
Boom.
down.
Thank you.
7.
Let's
okay.
go, Tom.
I want to
Appreciate
know
that.
if Greg likes Dak. Can we talk about that next, guys?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. after
No,
this.
he doesn't.
No mercy.
Well, Dak Prescott, he picked up right where he left off from week 1. He only had 4 incompletions to go along with 269 yards and 3 touchdowns in the 31-21 win over the Redskins. The Cowboys QB also racked up 69 yards on the ground, including a 42-yard run to help set up the Cowboys' go-ahead score in the second quarter. Dak has completed 82% of his passes for nearly 700 yards and 7 touchdowns through 2 games. So how about those numbers? Greg, what has Dak proven to you? so far.
Skip.
Greg.
Dak is special now.
Wow.
Skip, I almost want to sit next to you a little bit, but
Don't do it.
I'm not.
Is this for real? Or
This
are you
is
setting me up?
no, I'm not setting you
Can't
up
tell.
right here. Dak Prescott has been beyond impressive. And the reason why, this was my expectation of Dak Prescott this year because of all the talk, including myself, about it being Ezekiel Elliott's team and that's where they hang their hat, and they do. And the others make him better. What we're seeing is a Dak Prescott that has been a leader, but now he is leading with his play as well as his implementation off the field, in the locker room, transitioning and transferring to on the field production. What I'm seeing out of Dak Prescott, if he continues this, whoo, Skip.
Woohoo, Shannon.
This could be.
I know where Greg want to go, and then you want to hear him say it. MVP, get that thought out your head.
No, I'm not going to even. I'm not going to even throw that out there
How about
because
Super Bowl MVP?
because
Get that
Patrick
thought in your
Mahomes is
head.
doing some special things
Jeez.
too. But Dak Prescott, 82% completion.
Yeah.
Now you can say he's playing against the Giants. You can say it was rest. I don't care.
Is that a lie?
It's not a lie. Are they professional football teams?
I can't tell
Are
right
they
now.
division
The
rivals?
division
I
games.
think we can make both of those squads right now.
I like what I'm seeing out of Dak Prescott because it's not Ezekiel heavy. It's not run heavy. It is well balanced. It is, if we need you to make plays, Dak, you're going to make the play. And he's playing with a different swag, a different confidence. With the way he's throwing the ball, we haven't seen him missing throws.
With authority.
He's a different player right now, Shannon, and I like what I'm seeing out of Dak Prescott.
I love it too. Because you know what that means, right? Money. Yeah. Money. Yeah. That price going up, Skip Bayless. I love this. Because it was at $32 million. Now we're at 35. Now, can we get 36? Can we get 37? Yeah, I love this.
You know what it means for me?
Good dance.
Diet Dude.
You ain't get no more
Not
diet,
the
dude.
same,
I'm gonna
Skip.
get it back when we play New England, but that's okay. Skip, look.
Just when they're going to play, that's the only way.
No, we'll get it
that's
back.
your only hope.
Eagles.
So one of my Super Bowl teams is going to play my other Super Bowl pick, and that's the only way you're going to beat me.
We get Philly.
Is when somebody
Philly.
has to win.
Philly.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I got
get it back
that.
with Philly too.
Okay, thank you.
It is impressive what he's done. But the thing that I like most is that they're not playing down, the Cowboys are not playing down to the level of competition. Yes, the Washington and the Giants are NFL football franchises, but they're not very good. And when you play teams that are not very good, you jump on them early, you give them no hope to say, you know what, if we can just hang on in there to the fourth quarter, maybe we get an opportunity to steal this ball game. The Cowboys, by the time they get to the fourth quarter, the Cowboys are already thinking about, man, I think I'm going to go to the club tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm already thinking about what I'm doing. I ain't thinking about this because this game over. The Giants were over with. Washington was over. Yeah, they got a little cheap touchdown late and everybody, oh, man, that game wasn't close.
Wait a second. Giants scored first to go ahead 7-0. Washington scored first to go ahead 7-0.
Skip, and the final score was 40 to a few.
No,
and
it wasn't.
30. Yes, it was. Skip, the Cowboys scored 40 points against the Giants.
It was 35-17.
Really? Okay. 17 points. And this score was 31-14.
21.
And then you
Case Keenum, you underestimate.
You scored a late touchdown, and they still covered. But anyway, so now you like that? Skip, look, give Dak credit. He's throwing the ball with conviction. Michael Gallup, Randall Cobb has been a huge addition because Randall Cobb is doing what they thought Tavon Austin can do. With the gadget plays, Skip, throwing the ball, make people miss in short areas. He's doing everything that they thought Tavon Austin can do last year, but Randall Cobb is just better at it. The thing that I noticed about him over the last couple of years when he was in Green Bay, he's healthy now. You can tell he's healthy. You can tell the way he runs. You can tell the way he's playing the game.
Yep.
Michael Gallup is, I didn't see this. You hear everybody keep saying Michael Gallup. But man, dude, he's a legit.
Yes.
Pretty soon he's gonna be thinking he's number one. Skip, you're gonna have to lose him. But anyway. Amari Cooper's doing what he's done. But you know the biggest thing is? They played 2 games. Dak has been hit 4 times. He has 1 sack. Well, there's not very many quarterbacks that couldn't do what Dak's doing if you're going to let him be clean for the entire game. And he's been clean for the most part, the better part of
So
2 games.
help me out here. Carson Wentz keeps getting the hell kicked out.
Yeah!
And he's behind what Pro Football Focus calls the #1 offensive line in pro football, right?
Well, I'm calling
Okay,
bull
help me
jive.
out.
I'm calling bull jive right
All right,
now because
bull
the
jive,
first two,
says
the
Shannon
first 2
Sharpe.
weeks they hadn't protected Carson like they should.
So I could just sit and listen to both of you talk for hours. I could actually just sit and watch those highlights over and over. We could play those highlights the rest of the show, and we would rate through the roof because that's all anybody really wants to
No,
see.
they wanted to hear about that.
Yeah. But I'm going to say this one more time. I dug in the offseason. We did about 3 different lists of NFL top 100 player rankings. And my guy, number 4 for the Dallas Cowboys, made none of them.
Okay.
He couldn't even break into the top 100 players. And now Greg Jennings, who knows a little bit about football because he played at an extremely high level, he just gave me a woo.
Yeah.
And Shannon Sharpe was giving me the equivalent of a woo because he's just got a nervous woo going on because he's like, I may have to.
I got to do it. I got to see him do it against somebody other than Alabama and Clemson.
Okay.
I mean the Giants and Washington.
Really? Alabama and Clemson are pretty good.
Yeah,
No, I was just thinking.
but they're college teams.
Okay. So how do you not make the top 100 when you're now up to 36 and what are they? 36 and 12 as a starter? And I'm going to use these stats again because since Dak Prescott came into the league, he has 10 90
34
plus,
to 16.
34 to 16. He has now 10 90 plus QBR games. That's a lot of games because second on the list over the time he's been in the league, Tom Brady has 7, tied with a couple other quarterbacks, but 10 to 7. So he's 3 clear of any other quarterback in 90 plus QBR games since he came into the league. And would you believe that he's thrown now 9 touchdown passes of 50-plus yards? Only Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers have more since Dak came into the league. They each have 11. So he's doing something right. I don't think it's
Mahomes will have 9 this year.
Okay, all right,
Oh, my homeboy.
but he doesn't have them yet.
He ain't qualified, Skip.
Okay, but he's not exactly dinking and dacking. So over the last 10 games last year when he got Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott merely led this league in completions. He led the league in what Pro Football Focus called catchable passes. He was 3rd in the whole NFL in what's called air distance, how far the pass traveled to the receiver. So he was not dinking and dacking over the last 10 games last year. So all he does is he keeps winning games by making key plays, and he has shown you once again he is the most valuable Cowboy, and I'm the first one to say Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in football. But he has shown you again what drives this team is the quarterback, because quarterback drives any team. And you can't continue to tell me Zeke's more valuable. He drives this train. No, he doesn't anymore because now we've seen 2 games against division arch rivals. And Dak Prescott has dominated both these games. And again, Kellen Moore is going to be the unsung MVP this year because I am shocked. Jason Garrett has stepped back and said, you take the wraps off. And I thought Jason Garrett would be in his ear and try to overrule some calls.
First of all, Skip, he doesn't know how to do anything but clap. So he ain't going to be in nobody's ear.
Well, he played quarterback in the league, and he was pretty good as a backup. He was a qualified backup, quality backup. He beat your brother's team one day on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but my brother had 4 tubs on him, though. But I ain't really want to talk about that, though.
Okay, all right.
But, Skip, here's the thing. See, he's going to stay out of his ear because if it goes sideways, he's like, Jerry, I wasn't calling the plays. Give me 1 more year and let me call the plays. Well, the best thing that happened was you hate to see someone lose their job. But when they remove Scott Linehan, you're like, how does a guy wins the division 2 times in 3 years, win a playoff game all of a sudden? But they felt they could get so much more out of this offense if someone with imagination. That's what these young guys, these old guys, they have a way of calling the game, and they're going to stick to that script. These new guys, Skip, these Kellen Moore, these Cliff Kingsbury, these Sean McVays, they throw caution to the wind. There's no telling what they'll run. There's no safe area on the field in which they won't call a play. You're like, you running that now at this area of the field?
Okay, but don't compare Kellen Moore to Cliff Kingsbury because Kellen grew up in pro football. He knows what he learned what he knows from the inside out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this imagination. They're using the imagination of Kingsbury because you see a lot of what the NFL, they got it from college. All this throwing on every down, they playing with 4 wide receivers. You used to play with 4 wide receivers on 3rd down. Now they open up the game with 11 personnel. They open the game with 4 wides because they want to put in space. The way they protect the quarterback, you can't hit the receiver, yada, yada, yada. But Kellen Moore has done an unbelievable job of playing to what Dak does really well. Dak is getting the ball out of his hand. The offensive line has been fabulous. They don't touch it.
Yeah.
And when you have a quarterback that has a clean pocket and he has the arsenal, the weapons, the Coopers, the Gallups, Jason Witten, and you can run the ball with Zeke, they're going to be a tough out. I hate to say it. Damn it. They're going to be a tough out.
Thank you.
Honesty.
My quarterback is now 6-1 against the archest rival, the Redskins. And he's thrown 194 passes against the Redskins, and he had his first interception yesterday. That's one interception. He's 9 touchdowns to 1 interception against the Washington Redskins. I got to tell you, that isn't good. That is great.
Is Daniel Snyder going to sell the team anytime soon?
I don't know.
Well, he'll probably be 19-1 against them.
Okay, I'll take that. I did miss Kirk Cousins yesterday.
Yeah.
Because Case Keenum will battle you. The Kirk Cousins just throws it.
I didn't miss
He up there in Minnesota laying eggs. He up there in Minnesota.
I can't even talk about it.
Yep. All I know is, Shannon, I predicted in the offseason you were going to have to come in Monday after Monday and eat crow about Dak Prescott.
Temporarily.
Everything he's doing has been he's over 60% week 1, 64% on third down conversions. Week 2, 60%. And we got the Dolphins. Let me back up. Let me take that we out of there.
Yeah.
They have the Dolphins next.
Yes.
They have the Dolphins next. And what this
And then they get New Orleans without Drew Brees, who just had surgery.
So you continue to build on this confidence. I don't care who they're playing. You still have to perform. Shannon, you said it. They're not playing down to the level of competition.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
What that provides is everyone to be involved, for Dak to showcase what he can do. And by the time they play a team that we see is for real in the Green Bay Packers in that defense, shoot, he going to be on cloud 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these teams, you look at Miami, you look at the Giants, you look at who's coming in this week? The Dolphins, you played Washington and the Giants.
At New Orleans.
At New Orleans with minus Drew Brees, you're like, man, that'll get me, that's a stat game. I'll get me about 10.
Then it gets a little bit harder.
Teddy Bridgewater, highest paid backup quarterback in the league.
Well, he about to earn that money.
Yeah.
The thing about backups, that's what you want them to stay as. Backups. You don't want your starter. You don't want to see him come in and do a little mop-up duty.
I'm afraid in 2 weeks, Taysom Hill will be the starting quarterback.
No, he is not going to be the
You don't
starting
think
quarterback.
so?
No.
I don't know.
He's a jack, Skip. He can do a lot of different things really well, but playing quarterback on a full-time basis, I don't think so.
So, as much as I rave about my quarterback number 4, I do not rave about my defense because I ain't sold yet.
Okay.
You got a lot of guys making money
Guy
over
you
there.
call D-Law, he got his money, and he got goose eggs yesterday, all the way across the board goose eggs.
Man, it's hard to pull money. Man, you get a truck. I mean, he's full so much, but you can put enough in the truck and it won't go anywhere, Skip.
Really? You think he's worn out just pulling the truck?
Nah, he'll be all right. Skip, I mean, he's going to get, hold on. You do realize, I mean, they send the protection because there's nobody on the other side.
Robert Quinn is back.
Yeah, right. So now you can't slide the protection. I mean, first of all, the Dolphins, you should have, the Patriots got 7 sacks yesterday. So the Cowboys should have at least 10.
But they're going to Josh Rosen. Maybe he'll light it up.
Josh Rosen got sacked 3 times in 11 pass attempts. He gonna light what up?
I'll tell you something. When you go to a quarterback that doesn't have as much experience, the number one thing that they do is they hold on to that ball a little bit longer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Greg, always nice to have you.
Absolutely.
I know he's appreciating it.
Thank you, Greg.
Guys, it was a day of disappointment, really, for the Saints, and you just mentioned it. We have an update on Drew Brees, what the latest is there, and we'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Drew Brees injured his thumb when it hit Aaron Donald's hand after throwing a pass yesterday. Brees missed the rest of the game, and a new report today indicates he'll have to undergo surgery to repair a torn ligament and is expected to miss approximately 6 weeks. To make matters worse, in the game, Cam Jordan appeared to have recovered a fumble and returned it for a Saints touchdown, but the play was initially ruled an incompletion and blown dead. After review, the play was overturned, but the touchdown was negated since the play was blown dead. The Saints ended up losing to the Rams 27-9. So Shannon, think about this for a sec. If you are a Saints fan right now, how do you feel?
I'm really bummed out on 2 folds because I feel I was robbed again on a call. Skip, the officials are instructed, do not blow your whistle. Let it play out, and any play can be reviewed. touchdown, change of possession, all those can be reviewed. But if you blow that play dead, yeah, they might get the ball back, but they're going to get the ball back at that spot. Why would you, in that situation, Skip, why would you blow it dead? You've been instructed not to blow it dead.
Taught.
Yes. Let it play out. We go
You can fall back on instant replay.
Oh, hey. After further review, the quarterback's arm was going forward, incomplete.
Okay.
But you can't say after further review, we effed up, because that's what happened again. And to make matters worse, Skip, now you get the news that Drew Brees is going to be gone for at least 6 weeks. And I tweeted the moment, because I've seen this happen too many times.
Yep.
Guys, and this is why in practice, do not get anywhere near the quarterback, because he's going through with his motion. He hit someone's hand, someone's helmet, someone's shoulder pad. Bad things normally happen. I wore a thumb guard. I did the very same thing, blocking someone, and that thumb got bent back. So I ended up wearing a thumb protector up under my glove.
You tear your ligament?
I stretched it really, really bad.
I assume Drew tore his?
Yes.
Because I don't think it's a broken
No,
bone.
Skip. Because you have to understand, he's throwing, in that motion coming forward, and Aaron Donald's hand is coming here.
Ow.
Bap. That's what we got. And I knew it immediately.
And you knew.
Immediately, because you've seen it done too many times. And the Saints we can't catch a break. We got robbed in the championship game. We get robbed what could have been a touchdown. Now, Skip, it's all moot now because it ended up being 27-9. But who knows?
Who knows?
What transpires. Now they go up by a touchdown.
10-3.
You never know what's happening.
Momentum switches.
Officials, you got to be better. Now, the ref probably blew that dead. It's going to get downgraded. Skip's going to probably make it hard for him to have enough good games to ref a playoff game, maybe the Super Bowl. But what good is that for the Saints?
Yeah.
Because, you just cost us.
It was Walt Anderson's crew.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that the guy that's not the one that called the Patriots the tuck rule, is it? It might have been. Skip.
Walt Coleman.
Right, okay. But anyway, Skip, this was bad. The refs blew the call, and now the Saints fans are feeling even worse because of the injury to Drew. Now, I hope Teddy's making a lot of money to be a backup. He had an opportunity to go other places, but he chose to stay in New Orleans. Now, this is why they paid Teddy Bridgewater the big bucks. He's been a starter in this league, but now he must keep this thing afloat until Drew returns. And their schedule, they at Seattle, Dallas comes to them, Tampa comes to them, at Jacksonville, at Chicago, Arizona. That's the next block of 6 games that Drew could possibly miss, and then they have the bye.
I don't know if I've ever been more let down by what I considered a big stage, big early season game than I was by that one. The bottom fell out late in the first quarter.
With you, yeah.
Because to your point, it's the old cliche of adding insult to injury.
Yes.
Or injury to insult. But in this case, it's an insult to the Saints fans. Their team goes out there seeking revenge.
Right.
And their team belonged in the Super Bowl. I said all last year, you were back and forth about it. But whatever. The Rams went to the Super Bowl, and the Saints had an early season opportunity, on a big stage, on Fox, to say, watch what we can do now. And instead, they lose Drew Brees for, what are we going to say, 6 weeks
6 weeks,
or so?
they said 6 weeks at the earliest.
Give or take, yeah.
It probably will take the heart out of this season. It will seriously damage their chances to even make the playoffs. And then that happens again. And again, that wasn't the same as what kept them from going to the Super Bowl. The magnitude of it obviously wasn't that huge, but it happened again. And it happened for all the reasons you just detailed, to the point that how can the NFL allow this to keep happening? So we get back to what Jerry Jones used to argue with me about time and time again. This went on for like 5 years of arguing. His point was, hey, these controversies sell our product.
Yeah.
Because on Mondays, you guys are all talking about the blown call, and it's good for business. Really, it's good for business. Well, that's what Jerry thinks, because he said human frailty has always been a part of refereeing football.
Right.
And so, and you agree to a certain point with that.
Yeah, there's a certain human element to it.
Yeah, the human element, and in the end, there are going to be blown calls, and you're going to get your fair share and your unfair share. It seems like the Saints are getting only their unfair share.
You're right. You're right.
In Jerry's case, he loves it, he applauds it, and he welcomes it because it drives their train. Because people are outraged, or they're at least debating how can we fix this. Well, one fix that is not a quick fix, and it would be a very expensive fix, is to make those officials full-time, where you keep them all week training for the game, watching film, going over these things. Again, they say, well, they have jobs already, and we wouldn't have enough for them to do during the week, and we would have to pay them a ton of money.
That's what it comes down to. It comes down to pay, because NBA officials are full-time. What is baseball officials doing in November, December, and January? Nothing.
Yep.
So the whole thing, it comes back to this, Skip, money. So you keep your job, we'll pay you X for the time that you work. But no, come on, NFL.
Obviously, they're saying, well, 16 games versus 82 versus 162.
But I'm sure you can, look, there's enough ways to divvy up $10 billion.
Yep.
You can divvy up. So what, you got to give the officials, I don't even know how many officials it are. Maybe it's 8 games going on in a given, 16 games in a given week. So what, 9 officials per game? Okay, so what? It's going to cost you extra $10 million. Really? To make sure everything, there's still going to be some blown calls. But it can't be to the egregiousness of this.
Nope.
You're instructed not to blow that whistle, because that's what replay is there for, Skip, because now the opposing coach doesn't have to throw his challenge flag. It's turnovers and touchdown are all under instant review. Ta-da! No harm, no foul. Or you can come back, like, after further review, Skip, that was an incomplete pass, still the Rams' ball. No, you can't do this, Skip. You can't do it. Because let me tell you what people start to think, Skip, something ain't on the up and up.
I know, I got it.
Especially if it had been any other team, but it can't happen to the same team with the egregiousness of it. Now, I just think it just happened to be bad luck. The official, he had the whistle in his mouth and he automatically just blew it. But that was a fumble. And it looked like, Skip, it was a fumble from the get-go. I didn't need replay.
In live action, it looked like he lost the ball. Yep.
It's just bad. I just hope Teddy can come in, because the Saints at Seattle is not. We saw what Seattle just did last week. Sunday. They went to Pittsburgh and won. And the 1 o'clock went to play that huge game. And then you got Dallas, Tampa, Jacksonville. But Chicago's not an easy out either, Skip, because they play defense.
Yep. Just made me sick.
Oh, I feel bad for him.
And I loved it that our Mike Pereira jumped right in and said, they blew that.
Yeah.
This is what we teach.
Yeah.
It's like a cardinal rule on that play.
Yeah.
Just let it
play out.
Okay, what are you doing? Right. Why did you ruin our game? Come on.
What did he say? I just, I messed up.
How good is Pereira, though? He always gets it right. And he knows.
Right.
He doesn't like those moments.
Well, the thing is, that's probably why Pereira, he's too harsh with it. He's cut and dry. That was wrong. You got to be a little bit. They normally want the officials to be a little bit more PC. Well, maybe this is what he was thinking. Mike's like, no, he blew it.
No, he blew it. He came right out. He was the first one. He jumped all over it. And he was, in his voice, I heard disgust.
Yeah. Yeah. That's too obvious. Yeah. You can't make that mistake.
Brees, though, he's only missed 3 games in his Saints career. Only one of those with injury. It's just he's not.
And some people thought this might be his last year,
last hurrah. Yeah.
And Skip, and that's the thing with the quarterback. It's not really it's the fluky freak injury that sometimes that can derail. Yeah. That's okay. It's over now.
It's not easy to be a Saints fan, not easy really to be a Vikings fan today on my part, and we got a taste of Rodgers versus LaFleur yesterday in their win over the Vikings. I figured we'd have to talk about it. Are the guys impressed with the new look Packers? Are we going to go there? Next.
No mercy.
So the Packers held on to beat the Vikings 21-16 after not scoring past the second quarter. Near the end of the first half, Aaron Rodgers couldn't find anyone on 3rd and long, and then after the play, he had an animated, if you will, exchange with first-year head coach Matt LaFleur. Rodgers claimed the incident was not a big deal after the game. Let's hear it from himself.
It was about the look on defense. But I was actually kind of surprised that he was coming over to talk about that. But we got it all sorted out there on the sideline, and it actually wasn't a big deal. He's just, as am I. We're, a little animated at times, but I can't say it was, we were yelling how much we love each other, but we definitely weren't MFing each other or anything. It was talking about the look there and get on the same page.
All right, Shannon, how impressed have you been with the new Packers so far?
Well, I like what I'm seeing, Skip. They're not just Aaron Rodgers and offensively heavy, dominant.
Okay. Yep.
I think their defense is better. It's getting better. Now, they did give up some big runs, gave up a lot of runs yesterday to Dalvin Cook, and I'm sure Mike Pettin is not going to be happy about that because they were in total control of this ball game.
Yep.
21 points in the first quarter, and they're rolling. They're about to steamroll the Vikes, and then all of a sudden they couldn't pick up a 3rd and 1. They couldn't pick up a couple of 4th and 1s, and the Vikes are right back into this ball game. But I like what I'm seeing. Aaron Rodgers still is Aaron Rodgers, and it's hard for me to believe that he's just going to have 200 yards from here out. You know it's coming. Those big days. He's played 2 very, very good defenses, and they won both of those games. The Bears are not to be messed with defensively. We know what Mike Zimmer and the Vikings defense, we know what they represent. But when the rubber needed to meet the road, Skip, late in the ball game, when they need to have to run out the clock, the things that make Aaron Rodgers so unique, most teams, when you run the boot with a right-handed quarterback, you fake the ball left and you roll so he's to his right-hand side because he's right-hand dominant. But not with Aaron Rodgers. They roll the opposite way. He must open up his hips and throw the ball on the money to Devontae. And just like clockwork, like he's been doing it all his life. It kind of reminds you of the play that he did against the Cowboys, ain't it, Skip? You remember that, right, Skip?
I remember. It didn't remind me of that.
It reminds you of that. Same effect. Same effect. Ended the ball game. Because then Mason Crosby came on, kicked the field goal. This situation, they were able to take a knee. Ball game was over. So I like what I'm seeing from the Packers. They're only going to get better. Everybody that they face that's on their schedule does not have defenses like the Vikes, like the Bears. So Aaron Rodgers will get better. Their defense will get better.
How many more times do they get to play Kirk Cousins?
Once
more, right?
And they get Trubisky at home.
So they have now played Mitchell Trubisky, who on opening night had a QBR against them, scale 0 to 100 of 19. Yesterday, Mitchell Trubisky put up a grand total of a 30 QBR at Denver, and they somehow stole that game, right?
Crazy.
Yes.
That's Mitchell's Trubisky. So Kirk Cousins yesterday had a QBR of 4 on a scale of 0 to 100. And he made a couple of nice throws and did a couple of nice things, but he also threw 2 interceptions, and he had a sack fumble, and it's just Kirk Cousins. I said the day they signed him to $84 guaranteed $1 million, he just became the most overpaid quarterback in the history of pro football, and it ain't close. And Jenny doesn't have enough to show for Kirk Cousins.
Not
I'm
happy.
sorry.
Not happy.
And you do have Thielen, and you do have Diggs, and you do have Dalvin, and that should be enough to sort of carry the quarterback. And on opening day, they did beat the Falcons, and he threw a grand total, Kirk Cousins did, of 10 passes. He was 8 of 10 for 98 yards.
You see what happened?
They just said, take the ball out of his hands. But yesterday, they were forced to put the ball back in his hands because they fell behind 21 to nothing.
Gotta do something, yeah.
Now, let's look at Aaron Rodgers. He threw for, as you say, a grand total of 209 yards, which to me was still surprisingly low for Aaron at Lambeau. So is he on the same page with his new head coach / play caller? No, he's not on the same page. And when he was really off page with him, he let him know it very publicly. And I know Shannon Sharpe despises that kind of public display of showing up somebody.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
And he laid it on him good. And then he took the fall afterwards, and he was kind of mellow.
Well, LaFleur brought it on himself.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah. Walked up to Aaron.
Oh, did he? He started it, and Aaron finished it.
Yep.
Because we got a whole lot of thises and that's, and
Yeah.
And it looked like close to him.
That's what you want me to do. Did you see the look?
This, that.
Yeah.
But Aaron took the fall for another play where he thought he had a first down late in the second quarter, and it was actually fourth and
down,
1.
right.
And Aaron just ran to the line and called a play, which got stuffed.
Right.
And he said that was my bonehead play. So he's still on his best behavior because they are 2-0.
Well, maybe he's learning.
2 division games, 2 wins. So maybe he is growing up.
Plus, Skip, the Packers are being able to do something they hadn't been able to do in years past. They're running the football. Aaron Jones, 23 for 116.
He looked good yesterday.
Yeah,
I liked
33 for 144.
Yep.
So they're not solely relying on Aaron anymore. They can run the football, but the defense is going to have to shut down. I mean, they putting pressure on Kirk Cousins, but you can't let Dalvin Cook go. You can't 27 for $198, 7.3 a carry. You won't win very many games like that.
Nope.
But they'll be all right. They got Aaron Rodgers. They'll be going to be great against your team in Lambeau. And I'm going to need the 4 points that the line's going to open up at.
Well, Aaron's starting to look like shell of that guy who was the guy, he was transcendent. He was the greatest thrower of the football in history, and I'm not seeing that guy anymore.
You guess when you're going to see it?
When?
In about 5 weeks.
Really?
About 4 weeks, yeah.
But that's at Jerry World.
That's what matters. He loves Jerry World.
Does he?
Remember last time he was there?
Yeah.
You know what happened, right? Okay.
I want to go to that one. Sounds good. I'd like to move past Vikings Packers. Just it's not a fun one for me. So we're gonna move on and talk about AB. His debut with the Patriots, it was a success. But what can we expect going forward from him? We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
All right, Antonio Brown looked impressive on the field in his Patriots debut after only practicing a few days with his new team. AB finished with 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. And after the game, Brown did not talk to reporters. So, Shannon, how do you see everything with Brown playing out this week? We know there's plenty to get to.
Well, Skip, I don't see how the pendulum moves very fast this week, considering I don't know if they have anything in his schedule to speak with AB, and that would need to take place on his day off. I know they're talking to the lady, the lady who alleges this, who filed this lawsuit against AB. I know they're talking to her today. So I haven't heard anything, and no one has said anything whether or not they're talking to AB tomorrow. I believe he'll get fined for not talking to the media. You know that's a part of your obligation. You must speak with the media. But the NFL is in a very difficult situation. Without hearing both sides of the story, Skip, I don't really know how they can act one way or another. They need to hear her, what she has to say. They need to hear AB and what he has to say, and bring Lisa Friel and whomever else they need to try to deduce what actually happened and what's the course of action they're going to take moving forward. So I don't expect a speedy resolution to this. I know you want to get there was a story that just came out today that you want to touch on. So that's where I think it is. I think this is going to be a very slow process until they can actually talk to both parties and then try to expedite the situation once that's taken place.
I'm with you in your conclusion. The NFL is in a tough spot. This is a classic he said, she said. So now they're going to get the she said portion today. And yet, even if they talk to Antonio, let's just say hypothetically tomorrow, they're going to leap to what conclusion?
Right.
Can they come to a conclusion?
Right.
Can they? That's hard to leap to on after one interview with each party, right?
You're right.
Remember what happened to Ezekiel Elliott. His accuser was interviewed by Kia Roberts, then the director of investigations, multiple times, not by Lisa Friel, her boss.
Right.
But Kia Roberts concluded that accuser was not credible, quote unquote. Yet Lisa Friel and then Roger Goodell leaped to the conclusion, we're still going to suspend Zeke for 6 games.
Right.
And now what? What do you do here? Because, yeah, the story that just posted on Sports Illustrated, SI.com, headline, there's more history to Antonio Brown's history. Then accusations range from a previously untold account of sexual misconduct, a charity auction theft, multiple domestic incidents, and a long list of unpaid debts. Well, we knew some of this before.
Right.
And does this mean that he raped, as he was accused of raping this woman? No, it does not mean that. But still, the portrait being painted here.
Right, because you're talking about the painter. But what this does, Skip, is it gives you, what's the word? A pattern of behavior.
Pattern of behavior.
And that's the thing that they're going to look at.
Right.
Okay, is this an isolated incident or this is a common occurrence that's happened here and here and here? Skip, look, I've been in Antonio Brown's situation where I was accused of something. Someone said I did something. My boss, Sean McManus, called me at home. He's still president of CBS Sports.
Yep.
He asked me what was going on. And Skip, this is what I told him. If you don't believe me, anybody that hears this can ask him. I said, Sean, if one other person comes forward and says I've done anything, touched them, violated them in any way, I'll give you every dime that you paid me for 7 years. I'll give it back to you, and I'll quit on the spot. That's how sure I was. I had never, ever done it, would never do something like this. There was no pattern. But, Skip, when you go to civil trial and her attorneys can show a pattern of behavior, you're in for it. You're in for it because that jury says, okay, this guy's a bad apple. And that's how you try to paint him. The artist that said, you know, he came up behind her, he had nothing but a hand towel on in front of him, and he was naked. So the jury's going to start looking like, hold on. She came in there to do this and you would do that? That's somebody you don't know. What would you do to somebody? You start, you know, people start putting two and two together. I just hope this isn't true for his sake, Skip. I really do. But it's just hard. And like I said, Skip, how does the NFL come to a conclusion one way or another? Because that's not what, Skip, NFL's entertainment. They're not in the law business.
Nope.
That's not what they do.
Yet, again, their worst nightmare would be let this go to the civil trial, a jury trial, and the jury finds for her. Then you would look as bad as you looked in the Ray Rice.
Right.
I know there was video there, but you would look very bad.
They're in a rock and a hard place. Skip.
Yep.
They're going to talk to her today. Hopefully they talk to AB in the next week or so. But like you said, what do you say? Okay, you talk to her, you talk to him, and then you make a decision? Or you're going to do more digging? Or are there going to be more people that come forward?
At least you can gauge her credibility and her presentation to you. And maybe she has other evidence.
Emails, text messages, documentation of some things that transpired, some things that he said, because there were some, I think text messages or emails that were released, but they haven't been authenticated.
Nope.
Obviously, the NFL is going to want to authenticate that. And, are there any other people out there? It's just a bad look for the NFL in the 100th year anniversary. This is the last thing that they thought. This was supposed to be a celebration of the glorious of the NFL, 100 years of the game and how it's was built and how beautiful this game is and is moving forward, the most popular sport in America, Skip. And now somehow it's been woven up into this.
Antonio Brown has been nothing but negative news for the NFL
Yes.
at this point in this year.
That we know for
until a full investigation is done, a thorough investigation, how can any of us really speculate on the truth? So we'll have to find out. Week 1, guys, it was a bit of a letdown for the new look Browns. Will Baker and Odell bounce back tonight? Plus, big news on Big Ben next.
No mercy.
Unfortunately, Big Ben is done for the season. He will have surgery, and after injuring his throwing elbow against the Seahawks yesterday. Shannon, initial reaction to the news?
Sad. This is not how they envisioned it. They thought they had a team that could really contend, especially in the AFC North. But I guess AB and Le'Veon would come in handy right about now, but they don't have either one of those guys. Mason Rudolph, he played well enough that they could trade Josh Dobbs. But, Skip, this is a huge, huge blow to the Steelers.
So I think the Browns are about to get a win tonight, and they just got a huge break within this division because the Pittsburgh team I thought was going to be a little better than Cleveland is now in a shambles. I'm also sorry for Ben. It sounds like he's got some kind of almost like Tommy John issue because his elbow was bothering him last week. You don't see that among quarterbacks.
Right.
This year was not meant to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nope.
Prediction tonight for score?
Well,
Jets?
on the Farming Channel, there's a cow patty tossing contest that I'll be a little bit more interested in this one.
Wow.
But I'm gonna take the Browns 23-16.
Okay, I'll take
Skip?
the Browns 24-14, but I still think Greg Williams will bedevil Baker a little bit with some crazy blitzes.
Duck, Odell, duck.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.